All right. We are here. We are here. We're here. I have my laptop. I have my computer set up, all that good stuff like that. I guess, I don't know how we're going to work this. I'm going to put whatchamacallit. Can I do? Nope. I can't do that. I wanted to, come on, man. Forget it. Forget it. I was hoping I could do this on my computer so I could, I wanted to put the link in the chat. So if someone wanted to come on and talk, we would be able to do that. But for whatever reason, my computer is it was ready to go 5 minutes ago, and now it doesn't want to work. Where's the remote to the TV? I don't even know where my remote is to my TV. Anyway, we'll get straight to it. So, Miami Hurricanes are poised to have a good or maybe a great recruiting class this particular season. We made some massive flips. We seem to be trending in a very, very good direction for some guys that are doing some official visits this weekend. Now, again, recruiting is not my thing, so to speak, but at the end of the day, whatever it takes to get the talent in the building, whether it's transfer portal, whether it's recruiting, more talent always is the best thing to. Well, more talent is always good. You know what I mean? However we get it. So that being said, the big news is transfer portal quarterback. Which quarterback is better? Cam Ward, Will Howard, Kyle McCord, whoever. Which particular transfer portal quarterback gives the Miami Hurricanes the best opportunity to have a big season, right? And obviously, the odds-on favorite amongst the fan base is Cam Ward. Cam Ward came down to the University of Miami, had an had a visit, official visit, came down with his family. Like they had a pretty good time, was able to take some pictures. The big thing to me was that Mark Fletcher as well as Jacoby George were there when he came to visit. Now, Will Howard also stopped by, but I didn't really see any videos or any pictures from his particular visit, so I'm kind of interested to see how that visit actually went. And I see that he recently just went out to USC for a visit. And look at that. Now the computer want to work. Okay. Let me see something. Because I really wanted to put the link in the chat. Let me see something. I might be able to let me see if I can just stop this and do it from here. All right. Let me see if I can do it from my I guess I'm gonna stop. How can I do this? I don't know why my computer was acting funny earlier. Let me see. Can we get this going? Coach Hayes, LMV, IMAX, Wayne Smith. Okay, let's see. Can we get this to work? Because I really want to put the link in the chat for anybody that wants to come on and talk. Ellen, you might be right. I'm about to do something. Now it won't let me. Let me see. I had all this situated before. Let me see. Start cam. Maybe I can't start the cam. What's up? Okay. There we go. All right. Let me see. No, I don't think that's gonna work. No. Nah, it's too. What the word? It's too slow. Yeah, this is turning out to look bad. Yeah, yeah. It's, it's, we'll just do it from the phone. We'll do it from the phone. Cause this ain't working. We'll do it from the phone. So let me see. Yeah, let's get that out of there. Good grief, man. Anyway, we'll move on. I really wish I can't, but I see you can't do it. Double your pleasure. That doesn't work. Let me see. Oh, okay, there it is. Paste. Okay, there we go. Did that work? All right, there's the link. So if anybody wants to click on or whatever the situation is, uh, we can talk like that. So that'll work. I really hate. Do I need to turn my phone this way? Cause I don't. Gotta get better at technology. Anyway, it's gonna have to work for the time being. So anyway, back to Cam Ward, Will Howard. Don't really know how Will Howard visit went. Seemed that he's one that pinned it to the chat. I mean, did that work up there? Ellen, I don't know how to do all this technology stuff. I mean, I'm just trying something. I'm trying to take E. Brown's advice. E. Brown said that I bloviate too much and I don't give other people opportunity to come on and talk with me. So chat the link is there, so you can click on it or whatever the situation is. And if you want to come on, we can come on. It's all good. So we'll work it out like that. So I see Lakers all day. He clicked in. Okay.
What's up, man?
What's going on, my good brother? What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Okay. Oh, what's up, brother?
Well, I was on Twitter while you was trying to set up your little link, and we just got another guy, a linebacker.
Which guy is that?
Oh shit, I don't know, man. It's like I think Malik something, Elijah. It's like the
What he's a high school?
no, he's a high
Oh,
school. Yeah,
oh,
I
oh,
think
you
he's
talking?
Elijah, 4 star. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you talking about the Mendoza kid, the class of 20,
Yeah,
2020.
him. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got him. We just got him just right now because that's what they put on. It was on Twitter. I just seen it. So we got 2-1. We got that other guy from the safety, right? The 6'3"
which,
safety.
now where does he come from? Which team?
Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt.
Okay, okay. What is it? Savion?
hmm Yeah, him. Yeah, him. We got him today, and we got the Elijah today too. So
Okay, okay. I've been trying to figure this out for like the past hour, so I haven't been on Twitter. I haven't been on any message boards. So, okay, that's news to me. Okay,
yeah.
so
So
in terms of the portal, which particular QB do you like best?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, I'm fine with. I mean, I don't really know too much about Cam Ward. You feel me? Um, I watch him play, and for me, I know people might not like this, but I see him as a Derrick King 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. Like, people think that he's. I mean, I didn't really watch this game like that, but they people like him, but I just don't want to have that Derrick King 2.0. You know what I'm saying? The situation that happened here too. You know what I'm saying? Because like he looks like a quarterback does the same thing what Karen King did. You know what I'm saying? Shotgun.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Drop back, run around, try to make a play for himself, and throw the ball down the field. And if not, if he gets his legs messed up or something like that, then he's done. You feel me? So I just want
yeah,
us to go ahead and just, what I'm saying, like if Brown does good for us, then keep Brown, right? And then go get Dante Moore, right? And then once Brown is our QB1 and we know that, saying he can ball out for us, for like a couple years, you know what I'm saying? He goes to the league. Then after that, we got Dante Moore next. You feel me? Because if you realize it, that's what Alabama did. You know what I'm saying? With Tua, Mac Jones, and Jalen Hurts, right? You know what I'm saying? They
yeah,
had their quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3. Why can't we have our quarterbacks 1, 2, 3? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's how we need it because like Miami don't really produce quarterbacks, so this is a good way, you know what I'm saying, to go keep Jakari Brown, right? Go get more. Go tell Jakari, you know what I'm saying, I want you to stay. You're gonna be our QB1 for now. I mean, you're gonna be a QB1 for now all the way till next year. You know what I'm saying? Don't be up and down with him. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it real with him. You feel me? Because guess what? He probably kept it real with them this whole time. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Mario and them, they probably lied to him or they probably didn't keep it real with him, and that's why probably, you know what I'm saying, he said what he said in his little post on Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that's why I feel like we need to go keep Brown, let him be our QB1, right? Go let Emery just rest his little arm, and if Brown get injured or what I'm saying, other than that, and then what I'm saying, we got three quarterbacks. We got Brown, we got Moore, and we got Emery. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we should have our QBs. You know what I'm saying? Just like Alabama. They had Hurts, they had Matt Jones, they had two, right? Why can't we have JB, Moore, and Emery? Same thing. You feel me? Because
yeah,
we don't produce quarterbacks like that. And if we start doing that, that's where we're gonna see the 5-star quarterbacks come in. Because guess what? They gonna be like, oh snap, you know what I'm saying? The Miami Hurricanes know how to produce tight ends, D line, safeties, wide receivers, running backs. Now low key, they know how to produce quarterbacks. So why
yeah.
can't we do that?
I
So
mean, I understand what you're saying. Just to kind of go back to the De'Aaron King situation, I agree with you to an extent because that was one of my reasons, and I said this on Coach Hayes' show. I said one of my
mm-hmm.
reasons that I felt maybe he wasn't a fit here is the way that some people feel is because he will probably go off script a lot. And I know most people say, well, hey, it's because of the offensive line, but it's like I'm sure he's been going off script his entire career because he's an athlete. So I don't think you're able to coach that out of him in one particular year. Um, but I will say he's bigger, much bigger than De'Aaron King was. He's like 6'3", 220. So I don't think it'll be a situation where we could work exclusively out of the gun. But again, it just depends on how much you're trying to put on that young man's plate in 1 year. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he wants to go into a situation where it's just plug and play. As far as getting Dante Moore, I know that's another name that people like in terms of maybe a stopgap type of guy between maybe like you say JB and Emery. But I really don't know too much about him. In the grand scheme of things, I know he was a 5-star,
Now
but
he got. I mean, I watched one of his games when he was playing like like a nobody team, and I mean he's a pocket passer quarterback, but he has legs. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay,
he can run. He has the arm. You know what I'm saying? He has the arm strength. He can slide when he wants to. He can get out the pocket and roll to the right, look down the field, and throw the ball. It's just that he's still young. You know what I'm saying? So having a Dante
yeah,
Moore now
yeah,
come to the UM, right? And let's say we go get Jeremiah Smith, right? And you know what I'm saying? And let's say Jeremiah Smith sees that Dante Moore's coming with his arm talent and with both of them coming together, and JB is still here. Come on, man, that's a good little, that's great for us because we need a wide receiver like Smith to come here and help our wide receivers out. You know what I'm saying? And
well,
ball out. Mm-hmm.
let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, do you feel that getting Jeremiah Smith changes what Shannon Dawson does in terms of the offense that he likes, feeding the ball to the slot guy? You feel Jeremiah Smith changes that?
Mm, I don't think so because you know what I'm saying. I mean, because you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm saying the offensive coach, right, is not the he's not going to play in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's the quarterback that's going to get the ball to Jeremiah Smith and the slot guy. So you know what I'm saying. If the slot guy's not open, and Jeremiah Smith is, who gonna give Jeremiah Smith the ball? the quarterback, right? Not the coach. Just because the coach just because the coach's scheme is, you know what I'm saying? Oh, pass it to the slot guy. Slot guy probably is not always open. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see. Somebody else wants to jump. Anthony Manzano. Okay, let me add him.
Hey, Lakers, man. It's been a while,
What's
man.
up? What's up, bro? Hey, man, I see you everywhere, bro. You been in Dolphin streams. You be in Hurricane streams. Man, you everywhere.
Yeah, no, and Shad, I wanted to ask you. I've asked other people this, and I'm wondering: do you guys think the reason why Dawson was limited in terms of the amount of bootlegs he does with his offense? Because when you look at the offense he ran at uh at Houston with Clayton Tune, they were doing a ton of bootlegs. Do you think it's because he knows both Emery and TBD are limited in terms of their athleticism and stuff like that? They're not that athletic and stuff like that in terms of pocket manipulation and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because you know what I'm saying. Like, I mean, what he was doing with TVD, right? He was over here trying to run with him too, but they didn't say like, both of our quarterbacks that these people wanted to be our QB1.
Yeah,
They don't have these. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the legs like Cam. They don't have the
athleticism.
legs like freaking JB does. You know what I'm saying? They don't have these legs. So it's like I feel like that really hinders us and our
But
offense.
JB doesn't have their arm. That's the issue.
Who?
Our All three of our quarterbacks don't have a weakness. JB is a runner, but he can't throw the ball
No, no,
consistently.
no, no, no. He can throw the ball. It's just that y'all just seen what y'all seen, in spring, bro. Like he can throw the ball, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you watch his tape and his film, he can throw the ball. It's just that maybe when he was freshman, or you know what I'm saying, maybe he didn't need to throw the ball that much. But now you know what I'm saying. If you go get a Smith or these wide receivers, he gonna have to throw the ball. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, and this is why I understand why people want Cam Ward, because you
Hmm.
can do all these bootlegs we want. But for me, I would rather I he has the same athlete. Him and Will Howard are about the same athlete and stuff like that. They're not runners where they're gonna rush for 1,000 yards. They're like an Aaron Rodgers where they use their legs to extend the elongate the pocket both north and south, going like east to west. My mistake, not north and south, and stuff like that. So, to be honest, I would rather have Will Howard's reliability because Cam scares me with his fumbles. I understand his offensive line at Washington State was horrible, but some of those fumbles are on the quarterback. Let's not like how many of those fumbles can you blame on the center and the snap or him not holding the ball? Like maybe he just has that his hands are very small. Like
Hmm.
coming out of high school, actually, they said he had in his class he had one of the smaller sized hands and stuff like that. So maybe that's the issue. His hands are small and he can't grip the ball.
I don't. I mean, I'll see me. I don't want no pocket passer quarterback because we already had that situation before. You know what I'm saying? We already had a pocket passer in TVD, and now Emery, and you know what I'm saying. That did that get us anywhere? No, that didn't get us nowhere. That got us to the Pinstripe Bowl again. So no, it's not. No, for like you have to think about that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Let
you
me
know, from like dual threat quarterbacks, right? Oh,
let me ask
what's up?
let me answer an
Mm-hmm.
initial question. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of moving the pocket, I think a lot of that has to do with maybe your offensive line and you want to kind of move the pocket simply because you want to give defenses a different look where they can't just, pin their ears back. And so I don't know Houston's offensive line just, strengths or whatever, but that's what I kind of look at because that was because I thought maybe Toon was short, but I see he's like 6'3". So I was gonna say maybe they were
Him
moving.
and TVD are the same height.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I look at that as. In terms of maybe why.
The lack of talent on the offensive line. You think that's why they
Yeah,
had to move the pocket a lot for
yeah,
Clinton because he didn't have the amount of time
yeah.
the in terms of
It's
pass protection.
Hey Shad, you know what I'm saying? I have a question. Okay, so look, who would you rather have a quarterback that's what I'm saying, that's like a pocket quarterback or a dual threat quarterback?
What do I prefer?
Yeah, like let's say if you was a coach, right, and
But
you had
well, see,
Cam, go
let me,
ahead. Hmm.
no. Well, this is what I have to say about this. I think we have to define exactly what we mean by dual threat because I think what ends up happening is these particular discussions they end up going down the rabbit hole because when someone says dual threat, it's
Hmm.
Lamar Jackson, and then you
Or
get
Michael Vick.
yeah Michael Vick, and then when you say okay, well pocket passer, then you kind of say okay, well he can kind of move like like Aaron Rodgers. So I would just me. This is the interpretation I want to have. You got pocket passer, dual threat, and then you got X factor. That's what I want to look at. So,
Okay.
from with those particular definitions and dual threat,
Hmm.
like I said, maybe a I don't know, let's say Patrick Mahomes or something like that, Josh Allen
Hmm.
of that
Hmm.
particular. So yeah, I would prefer to have that because this is the thing right here. Um, even with just looking at a Georgia, even looking at a Michigan, looking at some of these teams that have gotten nominated for the top offensive line award.
Hmm.
I'm back. I'm back. I had a phone call. The
Okay.
quarterbacks just weren't back there, being able to make a sandwich or anything. So there's no way that you can actually have a pocket passer in 2023 when you got guys like Michael Parsons and
Yeah.
stuff like that
Yeah.
running 4-4, 4-3.
Yeah. So
It's
I
impossible.
I got you
See,
because I
see
understand. I
that's what.
understand. Hmm.
Let's and to be honest, the traditional pocket passer in high school is not what we think it is. Like the pocket passers in high school are mobile now. They're not dual threats like a guy who can run the ball, but they move the pot. They're able to move and manipulate the pocket they want. They're not a statue like you saw with a Tom Brady or like the traditional pocket passers like you saw that were just standing in the pocket and looking down the gun and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
So
Tua. I mean, even with Tua, Tua is a pocket passer because he can't really move like like those guys, and even Jared Goff right now, he's a pocket passer too. But
they have the
some,
ability to move the pocket, but they don't. They
yeah,
choose
they
to stay.
don't. They still stay like statues. I mean, Peyton Manning was a good pocket passer. Tom Brady was a great one too. But those guys are not those guys. But I want for the Miami Hurricanes to get a good that can do both.
Would you guys consider Justin Herbert a dual threat or a pocket passer?
He's a dual. I mean, in my opinion, he's a dual threat based on
Yeah,
what my definition is. I would
what you
have to.
see.
Yeah,
Uh huh.
I mean,
But
I
for
say
me,
I like to
but for
say
me,
X factor is
X Factor. Mhm.
Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, guys like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but I guess if you are limiting it to just pocket passer and dual threat, then I guess he would fall into the pocket passer category, like
Mhm.
Mr. Overdose said.
Mhm. But like I said, just imagine if we had that kind of X factor, right, on our team this year, right, with the O line we had and with the wide receivers we had, right. Like let's say we did have a quarterback like that. I mean, because look, freaking Jordan Travis was that type of quarterback for FSU, and what I'm saying, look how far he took his team. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what what I'm saying, a quarterback like that could have taken our team with our wide receivers and with the O line that Mario built and with our running game. You know what I'm saying? With our defense, we could have probably been the same.
See,
We could have probably been like 11-4, 11-3.
see that's a question I wanted to ask you in Shad. You
Mm-hmm.
brought up Jordan Travis, but don't you think with Morrow's offensive line, he would have forced him to become a a traditional pocket passer because of the offensive line that we have?
I don't think you
That's
could
the issue.
force. I don't think.
The way Morrow runs his offense, I think uh, he would prefer not a traditional pocket passer, but a pocket passer that can move around in the pocket, and his offense would limit a guy like Jordan Travis and stuff like that. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean that's my mindset in terms of Cam Ward. I don't think that the offense that we run would actually highlight all the strengths that he has. And to kind of piggyback off what you said about Coach Cristobal in terms of his quarterback, I look at it and say everything wants everything to be on schedule. Hey, 3-step drop, get the ball out. If the pass is not there, hey, dump it down. I
Will
mean, if
Howard.
yeah, but the thing about Will Howard, and I had to keep up with Will Howard because I had Will Howard on one of my fantasy teams for college. So Will Howard can run the ball. And I've said this, and I know Cam Ward and Will Howard are the two names, but I said the ideal quarterback for what we're doing. And he's kind of fallen by the wayside, because he hasn't visited. And I said this on Coach Hayes' show. I said, to me, Kyle McCord is the quarterback for this particular offense.
Actually, I have one better. Uh, Rourke from Ohio.
Who?
Michael Rourke. Flo has been talking about him a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, and he says, th- honestly, I would like if we can get Ward. Because honestly, Ward, I've said that like his talent, like if Mario allows Dawson to run hit the scheme like he wants him to, Ward would fit this offense because he came from a spread that same type of system in Washington State. Florida State's offense doesn't really fit his skill set. They're not a spread offense. They're a trip. What is it called? What style of offense would you say a guy like Mike Norvell runs? Would it be a option offense, a
It
triple
it
option
put
offense, or something like that?
yeah, on a much lower scale. On a much lower scale. It reminds me of those offenses that Urban
Urban.
Meyer, yeah, Urban Meyer and Dan Mullen ran, at Florida, and also even when Urban went off to Ohio State when they had JT Barrett. It looks like that. If I can take a shot to the receiver, I'm gonna take a shot. If not, we're gonna try to run the ball. And
See,
I agree. I don't think Cam Ward fits that style of
Ohio
offense.
State's offense would be better for him. To be honest, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's either for me the two offenses that fit him the best are not my. I want him at Miami, but I don't think it happens. Really do want him at Miami, but I don't think it happens. The two schemes that fit him the best are Ohio State with Ryan Day, or the offense that they run at LSU with Jaden Daniels.
Oh, I didn't. You know what? I didn't even think about that because yeah, LSU is gonna be in the market. I don't know if
Yeah,
they're gonna run that.
a shot and low key. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, man. It's like, look, LSU gonna be in the market. FSU, Ohio. Who else?
Texas.
Texas.
Oh no, Texas has Quinn Ewers is coming back. Never mind.
So who
Uh,
else?
uh,
Oregon.
USC,
Yeah, USC is gonna be in there. So he has a lot
Bama,
of Bama. He has a lot of. No, I don't think so. Because don't Bama have their quarterback already?
Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Georgia.
So
My
yeah.
mistake, Georgia,
So
Georgia.
yeah, Georgia. So he's gonna have a
But
lot of.
Carson Beck is coming back too, I
Oh
believe.
yeah. So I mean, Cam
Or
Ward is gonna
Oklahoma, maybe.
shoot. Cam Ward is gonna have a lot of
Well,
options. You know what I'm saying? Like
the thing that I heard about Oklahoma is that they had the big time 5-star quarterback, and so they want to appease him. So they're not gonna bring in another transfer. Now that's just seemed to be the word on the street. So, but yeah, I agree with you. LSU and Ohio State.
yeah.
Um, those,
I think LSU and Ohio State fits Ward better than we do because you know what I'm saying. Look at freaking Justin Fields, right? Justin Fields and CJ, who's that dude from Texas?
Stroud,
Yeah,
Stroud.
you know they was in Ohio State, you know, and imagine Ward going to that school and doing what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be good for him,
See,
but Go ahead. And
And Lakers all day and shot. I've said the comparison I have for this kid, Will Howard, that we're talking about now. He reminds me a little bit of Big Ben or a more mobile version of a guy like Matt Stafford or Matt Ryan.
He reminds me of his offensive coordinator, Colin
Who?
Klein. Now I know we all remember Colin Klein because we had to go play K State those 2 years that they were really really good. And
I don't remember Colin Klein.
you don't remember Colin Klein from K State? Back we played them in 2010 as well as 2000. And
I see. I tuned out those years of
you
Hurricanes
did
football. I'm so sorry.
well. I remember those games, and Colin Klein was a beast. He was, I think he was about 6'4", 6'5". He was he was good. Like I said, think about this at one time. You had him, you had Cam Newton, and you had Terrell Pryor. All three of those guys in college at the same exact time.
Colin
But
Klein got overlooked a little bit.
yeah, but the thing about it, K State had two very, very good years those years, and it comes down to them losing that one game. But they were very close to potentially playing for a national championship. But like I said, I just remember them because we had to play them twice, and it was rough those 2 years that we had to play.
See, and we were talking about dual threat or pocket passer. That's getting like in high school that line is getting blurred even more as the years go on. So there's not really a traditional pocket passer anymore. To be honest, coming out of high school, there's not really a ton of traditional pocket passers because when you look at the kid we have in 2025, Luke Nickel, he's
Yeah,
a pocket passer, but he he's not a traditional statue type of guy. He's mobile enough. Like he's an you would say underrated athlete. Like he's not a Lamar or Patrick Mahomes or something like that, but he can move around. Like he's not a stick in the mud like a Brady who doesn't move at all. Like
yeah. 904 Hurricane asked any thoughts on Dante Moore. Like I said, me and Lakers spoke about that a little bit earlier. I don't really have an outlook on the guy other than, like I said, he's a 5-star guy. I think most people had him behind Nico from Tennessee as being the most
Amaliava, Nico Amaliava.
yeah, being the most ready to go, and the other guy that's over there at Malachi Nelson. Those are the top three guys. So I mean, 904. I don't really have it. I know people talk about him. Like I said, I don't really get
See,
too caught up on that like that.
see, for me, this is how I see it happening. If we bring a Will Howard, what if this happens? If we bring a Will Howard and let's say hypothetically a Malik Murphy, because Will Howard's only going to be here for 1 year, and then if we bring a guy like Malik Murphy in, does that mean we lose a guy like what is it called? A guy like Emery Williams or and
No,
a JB, and maybe this kid Luke Nickel decommits in 2025.
no, I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. I think Emery's gonna be here for the long ride. I
Even if
don't.
we bring in a guy, if we bring in a veteran and a young kid like Malik Murphy,
Now, if you bring in Malik Murphy, now we're talking about a completely different conversation. Then, because then you bring in Malik Murphy, now it's like, okay, um, what's the problem? You know what I mean? And like I said, I had to loosely keep up with Texas based on my fantasy team, but it was nothing that I heard anyone say about in reference to Malik Murphy that said that, hey, he's going to come in and set the world on fire, but that's just,
or a Dante Moore. My mistake. Dante said he's willing to sit down. If we bring in Dante and a Will Howard, does that mean we lose a guy like Emery, who's been loyal to this program from the beginning?
I don't see Emery going anywhere.
You
Now,
don't think so?
JB, that's a completely different conversation. But no, I don't see, because again, it goes back to the aspect of, hey, look, the initial plan was it was supposed to be me and Jaden Rashada. So if you bring in Dante Moore, it's the same dynamic. I still got to go out there and I got to show him on Green Tree that look, this is my, I came here to win the job. You know, so
Mhm.
that's the way I look at it. Now again, JB, that's a completely different. That's a different story altogether.
Do you like
It's,
the safety we got in the transfer portal from Vanderbilt, Savion
uh,
Riley?
I don't know anything about him. Like I said, I don't. I'm probably one of the worst Kane YouTubers in terms of keeping up with this stuff because my thing is I just like once they make it the green tree, I'll formulate an opinion then.
It,
But
it
uh,
should. Mm-hmm.
but
It's,
what I would say though is
mm-hmm.
that safety was a position that we did need to address. Obviously, you're losing two guys, and like I said, I love Jaden Harris. I know people are very high on Mark Heath, but what do we have behind that? You know,
Yeah.
I know like hey was Zaquan starting. It's like
And Zay Mincy if he commits.
okay, he's the guy that's currently committed to Florida or he's uncommitted.
No, he's uncommitted, but
Okay,
he
see, I see.
the, a lot of crystal balls are predicting him committing to Miami.
Hey, hey, Anthony, I got a question. Are we looking at any like cornerbacks? Because I know Daryl Porter is my favorite Hurricanes right now, and I feel like he's a shutdown corner for us. And I know he's coming back with us next year, right?
No, he graduated.
Oh, he graduated. Oh man. Okay,
Yeah,
so
he was
yeah.
when we brought in Daryl Porter. He was already I think he was a junior. Uh, when we brought him in from West Virginia, I think it was West Virginia or Virginia. I can't remember where we
Oh,
got him from.
so that means that he's going to the league then.
Wait a minute.
Not
No,
necessarily. Not necessarily. Just because you
no,
graduate doesn't.
yeah, he has another year. He's a fourth year junior, so he took a red shirt his first year. And
Oh,
Okay,
okay, so he can
okay.
come back.
So I no, but he graduated.
yeah,
Like
yeah, he can. Yeah, so he's technically a grad transfer. I mean not transfer. Let me
So
a
not exception.
graduate
so
player.
He's
are we looking at any more corners too? Because we need corners too. We need some shutdown corners, man.
Ellis Robinson.
We need some shutdown corners too, bro. Like we can't just have the quarterback, wide receiver. We need shutdown corners because some of these other schools they gonna have these good wide receivers too, and we're gonna need corners that can shut them down.
Yeah, yeah. For me, and I've been saying this also when it comes to recruiting. Realistically, I think we have a higher chance of flipping Ellis from Georgia over JJ because Ellis, we can offer him something Georgia can't. He's gonna be sitting. He he's gonna be sitting at Georgia because they're so deep at the corner position and stuff like that that we can offer him playing time right away. With on the other side again with uh who's the young kid we got from last year's class that his brother played with us?
I mean, we got
Brown,
Devontae Brown's brother,
we got
Brown.
DeMar Brown, and
Damani. Yeah,
a,
Damani.
Who's
a
number
lot of
25? I like
a
number
lot.
25 too.
25 is the other kid from.
Yeah, I like him too.
Well, you know what, Anthony, I'll push back on this and say I don't really know because the guy we got from Vandy, he's a young guy. A lot of people were
They're
very very
saying he's a safety though.
moving this side. Well, a lot of people are very high on Robert Stafford. So I
He went in the transfer portal.
when did Robert Stafford go in the transfer portal?
Oh, that was Malik Curtis. My mistake. Malik Curtis went in the
Yeah,
portal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So a lot of people are very high on Robert Stafford. So what's up, Cuban Kane? So I don't necessarily know what the Georgia depth chart looks like. I know they just lost the guy AJ Harris. A
And
young,
Nyland Green too.
yeah, and then they lost Singletary, last year. So I don't know what their depth chart looks like. It could be a situation where it's kind of the same in terms of playing time.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, I think the when I look at Robert Stafford, a lot of people are high on him, but I'm high on him as a slot guy. To me, with how big the receivers are getting right now in the in college football, he's too small. He's only like 5'11", like 5'10", 5'11". He's way too small to deal with these these 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" receivers that are coming into college football now.
I thought Robert Stafford was taller than that. I thought he and Damari were the same height.
No, Robert Stafford is 5 foot, 5 foot, 5'10", 5'11". But
Okay,
I might
he's
I might be wrong. Maybe you're right. He maybe grew a few inches
no,
when.
you says he's well. This is 2.7, so I don't know how accurate that is, but it says he's 5'11", 175. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. With how this defense is going to be run, I think Gidry wants taller corners on the outside to
We
deal with
need
these
taller
big
corners.
receivers.
We need some taller corners, bro. We don't need no 5'10" corners out there, bro.
That's the slot receiver. That's
Well, we need taller corners out there, bro. We need corners. You know what
wide
I'm
receiver.
saying? Low key like DJ Ivory out there. You know what I'm saying? Long
Al
arms
Blades.
that can press them, that have foot speed, that has that can freaking play the ball in the air. You know what I'm saying? And they need to teach the coaches need to teach the corners to play the ball in the air and to turn their head around. You feel me? And look at the ball when it's in the air and then bat it down. Do something. You feel me? Don't just hold look at the guy when y'all are tangling with each other.
But oh, by the way, Florida just fired half of their staff. Would you guys want to bring in Corey Raymond?
No, I'm good.
I know.
I don't
I
want
mean,
nobody from Florida.
I mean, I
No,
mean, who?
he with his track record of developing corner from LSU. I'm taking away.
Hey, but this what I'm gonna say right now about Corey Raymond. Not taking anything away from Corey Raymond, his prowess as being a recruiter and stuff like that, but it goes to show that you can be as good of a developer or a recruiter as you want to be in the secondary, but if the front seven is not what it needs to be, then it kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of shows that.
He's not as good as people make him out to be.
I mean, he's a good recruiter. I'm not gonna take anything away from him, but that type of stuff works hand in hand. You know what I mean? And Florida, and the thing about Florida, even going back to T Rod, Florida has had some good defensive back coaches. Even before they brought T Rod, being the guy that they had, Trayvon or whatever it was, he was the DB coach at Virginia Tech for a lot of those years. Very good defensive back coach, but he goes to the University of Florida, defense is in there, and people write him
Yeah, the
off.
talent are no matter to me. I've always said this. No matter how good of a recruiter you are, sometimes the talent doesn't want to deal. Maybe they want to be connected to him because of his track record of sending kids to the league, but they don't want to be dealing with like the head coach or whatever, like a guy like Bill Napier and stuff like G5 Billy or Dan Mullen and stuff like that.
T5 Billy. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, let's be 100 here. I think a guy like Raymond would be good, an elite recruiter, like on as an analyst, because some of these look how deep Alabama is with analysts who are former coordinators or former position coaches. I think that's what Mario wants to do. He wants to bring in guys who were former what is it called, position coaches as analysts or former coordinators. Like that's how a successful, because if you have former guys in your recruiting staff who are coordinators or position coaches, if your guy leaves, you can promote him back up. Like that's how what is it called? That's how Saban is so successful, where he doesn't have a drop off, or a guy like Kirby at Georgia. They don't have a drop off if a guy leaves.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, the other thing, the other side of the coin that I would look at in that particular reference is I think before Saban started doing that, it was important for Saban to start winning. So it makes more sense for guys to do that. So I think right now, somewhat in
We're still
Mario's,
a rebuild,
you're still
basically.
rebuilding. So I don't think you're gonna get a Corey Raymond to just say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna come be an analyst for the University of Miami," because it's like I may feel like I'm just as good as the defensive back coach that you have. So why would I take to
Jamil
him?
will die.
Yeah, y'all are not. We're not technically right now. Our record is what it is. So I think Mario can do a great job in maybe getting some of these
Younger
um,
kids.
younger guys, like some of the high school coaches. Guys that still have like what he did with Baines' brother. Um, the other guy who's the brother of the player that was tragically he's not here anymore. Getting guys like that, and
Or
even like
Jason Taylor.
yeah, and yeah, something like that. So and then once you kind of get it rolling, then if you want to do something like that, then you could probably you probably can do that. But I know a lot of people want to go ahead and go straight to the Alabama model, but I think it's a couple of prerequisite
It
of
takes
things.
time.
Yeah. It takes time.
And
So
you know what it is? I think our fan, like, we've dealt with so much mediocrity the past decade, 2 decades, that we wanted the results right away, and fans need to realize Rome isn't built in a day. And I'm one of the fans that wanted the results right away, and a microwave dynasty like a Georgia who's won 3 championships in 3 years and stuff like that. So
let me
two
see.
championships back to back and stuff like that.
Cuban Kane asks if a die leaves, would we want DVD or Raymond? Um, Me personally, I would want DVD.
I thought
Um,
DVD left, didn't he?
no,
Or
he said if a die were to leave,
hmm.
would we take who would we take, DVD or Raymond? And I would go with DVD.
I think honestly, and I think DVD. To be honest, there's a lot of coaches. I think he's a more technical guy, and he's a good recruiter. But I think there's just because you're a good recruiter doesn't mean you fit the college game. I think he's more of a pro coach that teaches more about technique than anything else. DVD is a good coach and a recruiter, but just because you're a good recruiter doesn't mean you're per- you're in the long run you're a college coach. Uh,
But Anthony, but some of these kids now, bro, they need a coach that they need a cornerback coach that's gonna teach them the technique of how to play corner. Because guess what? Like, look, if a coach teaches you how wasn't that what's the technique of how to play corner, like drop back, right? Turn the hips, driving the ball and look for the ball in the air, bro. He go if the kid listens to the coach and does whatever the coach tells him to do, that playing that kid is gonna be a top corner because look, the coach is teaching him the techniques of how to play corner. You feel me?
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but let's not forget our DC is a DB coach too. So I don't really think we need a a a true DB coach on this staff, to be honest, either. Like,
We
because
do.
of the fact that our DB, our guy, our DC has experience developing corners. Like, he was DB coach before he became uh DC. So
Well, I feel like we need a cornerbacks coach because just because our DC coach was coaching cornerbacks before. You know what I'm saying? We can't have the coach doing two things at once. You feel me? Like, he needs to just worry about the defense and let TVD, if he does come back, worry about the corners.
see,
You know what I'm
that's a
saying?
double standard there. We want
Yeah.
our OC to develop a position, but we don't. Why can't we have our DC doing that too, developing
Be-
linebackers or DBs?
because I feel like why would you have your defensive coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna make him worry about the defense and you're gonna make him worried about the corners too. You feel me? Like, you can't worry about two things at once. You have to worry about one thing. You feel me?
How about you? What's your opinion on this, Shad?
I mean, I kind of agree with you, in a sense. I see what Lakers is saying. I look at it like this. I think that Jamil a die or a day. I can't. pronunciation. I think he's doing a fairly decent job with what it is that that he has, but I do feel like um we do need a defensive back coach because one of the things that I said initially when we started recruiting, is how well of a recruiter uh, Coach Gibbs going to do on the trail. So I think that you do need a defensive back coach just from a recruiting standpoint and just from a standpoint Jakari was a good player. So and he played in the league. So I think that and he can bowl. I think he can uh, relate to players as well. So I mean, you need a defensive coach. I want Gidry to just kind of assist where he needs to assist. I don't need him to caught up with the DBs and neglecting the linebackers or neglecting the defensive line. I want everywhere, at one time.
Yeah, no, that's where I hate that double standard from college football fans in general, that we want our OC to be a quarterback coach and not worry about the offense as a whole and developing a position, but we can't do that with our have that same line of thinking for the DC. Like that's hypocritical in my opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean I agree with you on that particular aspect because you know Dawson's role is the offensive coordinator as well as the quarterbacks coach. But now we're kind of in the same boat again because last year we had an OC with a QB coach, and it was like, well, the QB coach needs to be the OC. So now we go into this next year. Now it's like, oh well, the we need a separate QB coach again. So some guys are able to do it. It's not an issue. But then when things don't look right, then it's like, well, we need someone that's dedicated to that. You know what I mean? So you know.
This is why I'm saying honestly, what's going to happen is I think Mario is going to try to convince a guy like Dorsey to come in as an analyst. To be
We need,
honest,
boy, we need. Hey, listen, Chad. I don't care what we do. I don't care how much we pay Ken Dorsey, but we're gonna have to do what we need to do to go get him because you know what I'm saying. What he did over there, and the Bills, you know what I'm saying. He helped out Josh Allen, and then they fired Ken Dorsey for some reason that I don't know, just because of that one play call. That's wild because that wasn't even his
because
fault.
most of their fans like what's his face,
Yeah, no,
uh,
know. I understand. I understand. I understand that.
Dable, Georgia.
Yeah, I understand. But we need to go get Ken Dorsey because guess what? Ken Dorsey is a national championship. He understands the NFL. He was offensive coordinator in the NFL. You feel
And a
me?
QB coach.
And a QB coach, so he would help our young quarterbacks progress. And be great quarterbacks for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I,
I,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, I know a lot of people are high on bringing Ken Dorsey in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't opinion either way. If he comes, great. If he doesn't come, you
Yeah,
know,
and I feel you on that, but I just I would like that for our quarterback class because what I'm saying, like he looks like he would be a fiery coach. You know what I'm saying? He would bring that raw that the quarterbacks need. You know what I'm
so does
saying?
that does that mean we fire Dawson or we keep Dawson on the staff?
Man, I don't know what we need to do, but shoot, does Dawson have a national championship? Have Dawson coached in the NFL? Has he has he
He hasn't had the chance to coach in the NFL, and he's
Well, listen, just what Joe Brady did with Joe Burrow and what he's doing, and you know what I'm saying. Look at Joe Burrow; he went to Super Bowl. He didn't win, but we know that Joe Brady and groomed Joe Burrow. So why not have that with the Miami Hurricanes? You feel me? With our
yeah,
knowledge that we have with Ken Dorsey, so let's go do that. You feel me? Because we
or
need
Gino
some.
Toretta.
Well, he's too old, but yeah, but we need somebody like Ken Dorsey in the QB room that's gonna just worry about the QBs and help them out because that's what everybody's worrying about. Everybody's talking about when are we gonna get our QB transfer? What the heck is JB gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What the heck are we gonna do with Emery? So if everybody's worrying about the QB room, just squash this now Go get Ken Dorsey and let him worry about the offense. Let him worry about the quarterback room, and let him help these young quarterbacks out. And then we can worry about that later. You feel me?
Okay.
What you think about that, Shaq?
Like I said, I mean, I don't have an opinion about
Hmm.
Dorsey
Yeah.
one way or the other. Um, it gets back down to the aspect of, is he gonna work? Is he gonna want to work the way that you know?
Mario does. Yeah, I feel you.
Because he's not gonna just let you just sit in the hector all day breaking down film. You're gonna have to get out here and be sociable with the quarterbacks. Brother Jay, what's going on? What's going on, Brother Jay? Um, that's my thought process about it. Like I said, I don't have a problem, so to speak, with Shannon Dawson. I
Hmm.
think um we'll see what he's about in the bowl game with the way that JB looks and the way that how much they put on JB's plate. I thought a guy like Rhett Lashley did you know a great job here. I thought James Coley did a good job in
Oh,
getting.
James Coley did a great job with Stephen Morris and all them boys. He did a
That's what I'm
great
Yeah.
saying.
job over there.
Yeah. No.
So
And you said something, Lakers. I understand what you're saying. Like
Hmm.
bringing a guy like Ken Dorsey in would help, but to be honest, this is how. If we bring Ken Dorsey in, like
Ken Fields was
I think his philosophy as a coordinator would fit. Like this spread off. I understand because I understand why Mario did it, but I think the the philosophy that Ken Dorsey runs would fit, like aligns way more with what Mario wants to do than what Dawson wants to do. To be honest, because Mario's a traditional pro style, because he's an offensive lineman. I think he would rather have a traditional pro style offense, not a purely traditional, but like an evolved form of a West Coast offense, not like the spread off. I think a West Coast philosophy fits Mario's line of thinking over like the spread offense that Dawson's trying to run. I understand our fan base wants it, but let's be realistic. Look at what our coach wants. He wants to run the ball first and stuff like that.
I don't know because looking at what Ken Dorsey has worked with at the NFL level, you go from working with Cam Newton to you going to work with
Josh
uh,
Allen.
those two guys are two different skill sets altogether.
Hmm.
Um, so in terms of what Mario wants to do, in offense, I mean that offense, it works, but even if you look at the last two national championship games with Georgia, winning those two games, that's what Kirby Smart wanted to do, but Stetson Bennett still had to make some throws.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm not saying you can't make throws in those offenses.
no, no, I understand what you're saying, but when I think about that, I go back to 2021, and you had Anthony Brown out there, and I'm looking at Anthony Brown's numbers, which obviously the University of Oregon had a good, a year that year. They ended up going 10-3. We got Mario, but Tyler Van Dyke had better statistics than he did, and he didn't even play in the same amount of games. So I think that particular style of offense, it works, but you gotta be able to stretch the field.
Or evolve.
Yeah, because the Michigan type of thing, like that looks good, and I've said this before, that looks good north of I-40, but when you come south of I-40, you gotta be able to you gotta be able to do something. Um, I think
Spread the
what
ball.
I
Spread.
think that I think the ideal offense and who runs it right now is what Steve Sarkisian is doing. They can run the ball and they can pass the ball. They got speed on the outside, nice offensive line, good running back. Even though I know their lead horse, he's out with the ACL, but up until that point, and they were able to adjust when Malik Murphy was in the game. So it's more so about, like you say, week to week, what can we do? If we can run the ball this week, run the ball. If we need to pass the ball this week, pass the ball. Because against A&M, that was a game where we needed every single one of those touchdown passes that TVD threw. Every pass that TVD threw, we needed that. So you know, like I said, I mean,
And what you said with Sarkeesian is the perfect example. I think what we need to look at is maybe getting like an offensive coordinator from that tree, that Sarkeesian tree, not Mike Leach, because Mike Leach's spread offense was good in the '90s, but I think it's very one dimensional. To be honest, it's a pure passing offense. It doesn't run the ball.
well, I don't think Shannon Dawson. I
He
don't think
comes
Shannon.
from the Mike Leach tree.
I understand, and the current offensive coordinator for the Ravens, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bulldogs the past 2 years, he came from an air raid tree. It's just about adapting and adding more. Like I say, I don't know if. Well, let me ask you this because you're talking about it. What I'm gonna ask both of you this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Grade for Shannon Dawson.
To grade,
Yeah, South Coast Kane wants to tap in, so let's get South
I
Coast in here.
see.
Man, what is going on?
was a
That's good. But yeah, let a grade for all three of y'all. Let a grade for Shannon Dawson this year.
I see for me. Incomplete.
uh,
Okay.
I'm gonna give him a C because he's the offensive coordinator, and he's supposed to you know make the quarterback. And it's Loki. He's over the quarterback, so I'm gonna give him a C minus.
Yeah, I give him a C. I like to see some more tight end usage, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, C's cool. C's cool.
Okay, South Coast. I'm gonna ask you this. Well, I'm gonna ask all three of y'all this since we kind of running a panel right now. Um, this was my thought process about the lack of uses of tight ends. When you have your three receivers, or if you have three receivers like eating like that, like how much involvement with the tight ends can you actually have, especially when you got Xavier Strepo working the short, running, working the short. Jacoby George can work. Kobe Young working the middle, and then you got Jacoby George taking the top off. So in a situation like that, where does the tight end actually fit in that particular mindset? And to answer my own question, I would give to me, I would give Shannon Dawson, I would give him a B because my thing is this, you know, you should DVD out of the game when it was clear that he was hurt. When he started adding more equipment to his body, when you see a quarterback out there with a knee brace on, and some of the interceptions that he threw was basically he couldn't get enough velocity on the ball. I don't know if that's a whole Shannon Dawson call, and I know maybe some people are holding TVD's performance to Shannon Dawson, but I can't necessarily do that personally. But I'll pause and that's
The
my
reason
question.
why say I see is because I said this at the beginning of the season, and I warned people. TVD having so many offensive coordinators is finally going to catch up to him, and it did this year because how many coordinators throughout his career he's had four coordinators in the last 3 years. Four coordinators. How can you expect this kid to develop when he has that many coordinators and stuff like that? Like, let's be honest. That's why I say I see because I don't really blame the lack of TVD not performing well on Dawson or TVD. It's just the incorrect hires at OC finally caught up with TVD.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, uh, of course, this was Dawson's first year. It was some crazy stuff going on, but hopefully, get some, he can get some players for his scheme to come in. Of course, I'm kind of old school. I like to see a tight end. I mean, you could have used them on that first and goal, but I guess it's more of a, I guess it's like a transition type thing, because it was Dawson's first year and some of these players were here before. I don't really know, you know.
Yeah, sure, man. We are low key UM. We are Miami Hurricanes tight end, so I would like to for us to use our tight ends more because guess what? You know what I'm saying? Like usually, it's like our tight ends go to the NFL and they be great. So now to not use our tight ends in our offense is kind of weird to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know what I'm saying, seeing our tight ends not even probably produce and have a good game for us is kind of weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Because we always, you know what I'm saying, have a tight end that's always we can always rely on, or you know what I'm saying, always knows how to always knows how to make that big catch for us. So I want
Yeah,
us to
and
use our
I
tight
can
ends more.
see I can explain away the issue with him not using tight ends because besides what's his name, besides McCormick, who's a senior, the majority of our guys were freshmen who didn't really have a ton of experience. Like, and some of these kids are just are 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 still getting used to the program and stuff like that. So let I want to be patient, see how he develops these kids before we say he's not a good developer of the tight end or not using the tight end because they were mainly using McCormick because of the veteran experience. They didn't really use a lot of Riley Williams, Jaleel Skinner, and stuff like that, and Elijah Arroyo because these guys weren't. They're not good blockers. They're not consistent enough blockers yet.
And I agree, Anthony, and I also agree with Nassau. I mean, there was some times when the tight ends had the ball hit, thrown to them right there in the numbers and they missed.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. With the exception of Skinner, I mean, it was some young kids, but I mean, still, if the ball hits you in the numbers, you should be able to catch it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
blame the drops on the freshmen. If it's a senior like juniors or seniors doing this, then I can't blame the freshmen for dropping the ball in a critical moment like that because he's still young. Let's be honest. The kid is still young and learning. I can't what is the term? I can't excuse a guy like Skinner who's a junior and a guy like McCormick doing that in a critical moment, dropping the ball. And I think that's why Dawson didn't use the tight ends because he didn't trust them to catch the ball in a critical moment. South Coast.
But I mean, not to be argumentative, but I mean, these young men have been catching balls probably for most of their life anyway. I'm just saying, even my old decrepit ass could probably catch a ball that hit me in the numbers. you know,
yeah,
No.
that's just
That's what
me.
I'm saying. He
Yeah,
doesn't trust them to hit.
yeah.
He
Okay,
doesn't.
yeah. I got you. I
The
hear what
lack of
you're saying.
trust. Like, and let's be honest. Like, I like a McCormick, but he's what you would call an inline blocking tight end. The guy is not meant to be catching balls. He's basically an extra O lineman.
yeah. But you know what I'm saying. For me, like me. Right now, I'm saying me. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, right? So you know what I'm saying? Our head coach, Mike McDaniels, he's doing the same thing what our offensive coach is doing. He don't use his tight ends like that. He uses Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So, you know what I'm saying? Like the tight ends are just blocking tight ends. You know what I'm saying? What y'all see at the Miami Hurricanes. Same thing. So it's like how can
You know,
At
they
least the Hurricanes run the ball.
hey,
yeah.
I'm. You know what, Lakers. I'm glad that you brought that particular point up about
Mm-hmm.
McDaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the tree. Kyle Shanahan, George Kittle is used heavily in that particular 49er offense. And like you say, Mike McDaniel's not using his. So that kind of goes back to just because, you're kind of from that tree, that doesn't mean that you're going to adopt all of the things in that tree. And kind of similar situation to us. I mean, you got Tyreek and you got Waddle. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get the ball to the tight end that much, and then I got A Chain, and I'm just kind of, I'm a Raiders fan, so I don't
Yeah.
go with the Dolphins, but just kind of looking at it like y'all have a what
Wait, Raiders or Ravens?
Raiders,
Raiders.
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 Oh, I thought you said Ravens.
Yeah.
No,
But
no.
it's I mean, Shaq, you said it's the same thing with our, what I'm saying, with the American. Just like, what I'm saying, like the
But
offensive coordinator wants to give the ball to Restrepo and these running backs, but what happens to the tight end? You know what I'm saying? Like the tight ends are a part of the team too. You know what I'm saying? They can ball out too, not just the wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you know what I'm saying, just like Mike McDaniels and with our OC coach now, I feel they're like they're just playing with one hand, you know what I'm saying, and they have the other hand you can play with. They're not playing with both. They're just playing with their wide receivers and their running backs.
well,
So,
let
you
me
know,
let me let me ask you this, Lakers.
mm-hmm,
In this particular situation, and on one of my videos, I talked about this. On one of my videos in the past, I talked about this. I said when you look at like a team like Ohio State, you look at a team like USC, you look at those particular offensive coordinators, right? They are very, very receiver driven. And if you
mm-hmm.
got the guys that are doing, that's making the plays, somebody's not gonna eat. And unfortunately, the tight ends didn't eat. Now I know Nassau brought up the situation about the guys dropping the ball. Our receivers drop some passes too. X dropped some passes. George dropped some passes. Kobe dropped some passes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it was geared towards. Now I know Brother Jay has made mention that Shannon Dawson used the tight ends a little bit at Houston, but at the same token, Shannon Dawson didn't have three receivers over 500 yards, to my recollection. It's kind of like Washington State. Washington State had three receivers over 800 yards. So, no, a lot of passes not going to the tight end in a situation like that. Um, it's unfortunate because I think when we look at it, at least from a recent past, just recent past, when's the last time we had three receivers that were doing this in 1 year?
Not a lot.
I'm not gonna say not a lot. We haven't
No, you have it. Mm-hmm.
because I did, like I said, I like to try to do I try to do different. I try to talk about different stuff than some of the other people talk about because
Mm-hmm.
you hear about the same stuff all the time. You kind of like, okay, is
Boring.
it?
Repetitive. Mm-hmm.
I went back a few years and I said if you going back to 2010, we've only had maybe a duo of receivers, but the tight end was either the second or third receiver. Even when you go back to Allen Hurns, Clive Walford was there. You go back to Philip Dorsett that particular
Mm-hmm.
year. You still got, Clive Walford was there, and Joku was there. So
Yeah.
that's always been a situation. We've never had a situation where it's just been those three guys. Even with the
Mallory.
2017, it was um, Braxton, it was Langham, and hey, getting the ball to the tight end. Chris Herndon. Chris Herndon had a very good year in 2017. Obviously, he got hurt at the end of the year, but Chris Herndon was our third leading receiver that year. So I think this is just the first year where where things have been different, where we've had three receivers. It's like they can
Yeah.
attack. But Sal, Coach, let me ask you this particular question because I don't want to forget that particular statement. When you said we could use them on the goal line, what did you mean by that?
Well, just the typical,
Yeah, QB
even
Bradley
if
Joy.
it's even if it's just the simple, quarterback bootleg and hit the tight end
Mm-hmm.
going out there in the flat, just something simple, just another kink in the armor, another tool in the toolbox. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
Oh,
are you talking about that play that basically everybody runs where it's like the tight end
yeah,
comes across the formation, you fake
just
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just
okay.
Mm-hmm.
something more for the defense to have to
To
think
think.
about.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, oh, because the more things they have to think. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the more the defense has to think about, the more you know opportunities are there for the offense. In other words, you're sitting there on the goal line. You got the running back, you got the receivers, you got the tight end. They don't, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Uh, just another tool in the toolbox, dude.
Yeah, in South Korea, you know what I'm saying? Like what you're saying about, you know what I'm saying, like having like another tool in the toolbox. It's the same thing with the quarterback situation too. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like having
Right.
the
Right. Right.
having the X factor QB that can run with his legs and throw the ball. It's the same thing having a good, you know what I'm saying, you using your quarterbacks, I mean
Right.
using your
Right.
tight end on your in your offense, you know what I'm saying? Like you can have a quarterback like freaking JB, right? Rolling out, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? A
Right.
running
Right.
back,
Right.
a running back going to the flats, and then you're gonna have a tight end coming and blocking and then going to touchdown, running to the end zone for the touchdown. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
it's better to be 4 dimensional than 1 or 2 dimensional.
yeah. So that's why I want like an X factor QB that can do both, throw and run. You know, when he needs to, not just stay in the pocket and throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, that's all. Cause I know you hopped on after the initial discussion, but do you have a preferred uh, transfer guy in between Will Howard and Cam Ward, or it doesn't even matter?
Man, matter of fact, I just got through with my show. If I could do a shameless plug, but
Oh, please
my
do it. What's the
well, I
name of
was
it?
Kane with the camera 2.0 on my YouTube channel, South Coast Kane.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
but I was talking. The title of it was "Don't Believe the Hype." You know, I don't know if any of y'all know what that. The old Flavor Flav. Uh
Mm,
Now it's just honestly, if they get one of them, they get one of them. If they don't, they don't. And my thing was everybody's all worked up over the Cam Ward. They're all worked up over the Howard. People. You have these different factions, and uh oh yeah, Miss Ellen, how you doing? Uh it's my $1.25 tree production. Okay, let's get back on topic here. Uh I'm sorry. I guess I just, man, I've been through this. I have been through this for more decades than I would like to tell. But honestly, if they get one of them, great. If they don't, great. I am just so curious to see what Mr. Jakari is going to do in the bowl game, because most people, in my opinion, have unfairly judged Jakari based on last
Thank you,
season.
South Coast. Thank you, bro. That need to be said. Thank you, man. 'Cause,
Last season he was out there with a depleted, injured offensive line. And again, I always ask these folks, everybody all of a sudden this year talking about how Jakari isn't that good. And I'm like, well, what are you basing that on this year? We haven't seen him, you know. But I guess to get back on point, Shad, uh, either way, I honestly think if they get somebody great, I really don't have a preference. I really don't. If they do, great. If they don't, it's fine.
yeah, and to like you say that your show title, don't believe the hype. The reason I said this to myself, I said I'm not gonna go back and forth on anybody in terms of do you prefer Cam Ward, do you prefer Will Howard, do you prefer Cam McCord, and the reason being is because what did we just see in the Heisman Trophy Award ceremony this year? We saw three quarterbacks who 3 years ago nobody would have thought that those three guys would be in New York. Nobody.
Right,
Now
right.
we can put an asterisk beside Michael Penix because of the injuries, but everyone's familiar with Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels got a video of his teammates. Look, leave. We don't want you here anymore. Bye. Goodbye. Please go. So,
mhm.
like you say, Cam Ward could be um, a 1 year Cam Newton, or you come in here and be Sam. No, matter of fact, I'm not saying that could happen, but what was the guy that the quarterback from Wake Forest that year before Hartman? He transferred over to Georgia. He didn't even play.
Right.
He didn't even play. Like he lost before the he lost initially. You're the like Stetson Bennett wasn't supposed to happen because you were supposed to be that. You didn't even play. I'm not saying that could happen for Cam Ward, but like you say, don't believe the hype. We don't know what may happen. You
You
just
know,
don't.
and my biggest concern, this is just me, is with all this portal stuff going on, is that going to scare away recruits and or Jakari? You see what I'm getting at? Like, for instance, a lot of like this Malik guy in Texas. I
Yeah.
think he's like what, sophomore. He has like 3 years of eligibility left. You know,
Uh,
let's just hypothetically say Malik comes over here. Probably a very talented young man. But what does that do for an incoming recruit? Well, hell, why should I go to Miami? They just got this Malik guy. He's got 3 years. I'll never see the field. But if Miami does not get, or if Miami gets one of the big two, Howard or Ward, I mean, that could send a message to incoming recruits. Hey, you could probably see the field. You know, I mean, it's. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whatever whatever is going to make them successful. And I guess I am not a Jakari fanboy. Okay, see, still got it. That's my 20 year. I don't know if you can see the 20 on there. That's my 20 year chip there. Just whoever's going to be successful and help the team, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I like Jakari. I'm a fanboy of Jakari. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he got screwed by how the situation went this year, because you know what I'm saying. Like, how in the world are you going to play him last year, right? You played him last year, and then he won you the game against Georgia Tech, and then this year you want to talk just because. I don't know. He probably did say that he wants a red shirt or what. But if he did, I understand, and that's cool. But if he didn't, then you just lied to the fan base, and y'all just probably just didn't want to play him. You know what I'm saying? Because you have these two quarterbacks, CBD and the Emerald, and you know what I'm saying. You just want to see how them two will play. But low key, I feel like Jakari Brown is the quarterback that we do need, because he has the arm talent. But y'all, you know what I'm saying? People saying that he doesn't have arm talent. He's not ready yet. But if you realize it, Mario Cristobal and offensive coordinator said that Jakari Brown is doing a great job in practice, doing what he needs to do, playing good in practice, and he's focused and he's doing his job. So if both of these, if the head coach and offensive coordinator is saying this about this kid, then why is all this slander talking about him in the background? You feel me? Just let this man ball out. Let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? If he does have a great game for us, that's fine. He's QB1. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Shut it down. He's our guy. But if he's not, then we can't be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is not good. And then after that, guess what? He transfers, and then he go balls out for another team, because guess what? Y'all don't give him a chance.
Yeah.
So
You know what? I think what ended up happening this particular year before the season started was the Canes Fest. And whatever image that they got of Jakari from Canes Fest, that was what it was.
yeah,
Um,
you right about that. I feel that too.
Canes Fest had us saying that well, not me, but Canes Fest said AJ Allen was Clint Portis. Canes Fest said that Emory Williams is better than Tyler Van Dyke. So I'm gonna make sure I'm at Canes Fest this year because I need to see these particular things. I need to see with my own two eyes. But I think that's what it is. And again, I said this on one of my previous shows. The Jakari pass that he missed to Xavier Restrepo, I go back and I say, hey, what if that was Isaiah Horton? What if that was Kobe? What if that was Jacoby George? What if that was um even Michael Redden? Let's throw Michael Redden. If that was a taller receiver, that's a completed pass. So I'm not gonna get mad with Jakari because you missed the pass to the shortest starting receiver that we have. So, but um, I stopped fanboying over quarterbacks after the N'Kosi Perry situation. That got ugly in a lot of situations about Malik and Sharon, and I said, you know what? That's that's not fair. That's not fair because in the back of your mind, you want the other quarterback not to succeed, so you can see your guy in there. And I said, that means I'm rooting against the greater good, which is wins and losses, not about who my quarterback is. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's why I stopped fanboying over quarterbacks. If Jakari goes out there and plays well, great. If we can get the victory, great. But I'm not gonna fanboy over a quarterback. And another reason I'm not gonna fanboy over a quarterback is South Coast, like you said, the transfer portal. The transfer portal makes it hard for you to fanboy for anybody because they're here today and they're gone tomorrow. You cannot. It's impossible. Like we can love. And like I said, I don't want nobody to clip this. We can love Ray Joseph to death today. Ray Joseph could leave next year. Anybody can.
Exactly.
Anybody can leave. Mark Fletcher can leave.
It's kind of like to that point, Shad. It's like with the NFL. You don't want to buy an NFL jersey because you don't know if they're going to still be with that team, and it's to that point now. They offer these NIL jerseys, you know, and then they're gone. Exactly. That's the whole thing, you know. And I guess me being around for a while, that I've always, the portal is a good fix. It's kind of like what Cuban was saying, my man Cuban. You can keep putting spackling on that wall, but eventually you got to just rebuild. You got to build the wall. What I'm getting at is, we got to start developing the farm system, dude. You can't just keep bringing in, one and done, two and done, because again, you don't know what problems they're going to bring. You don't know what baggage they have with them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. And you got these young men who want to play for Miami. Judd, for
Yeah.
instance, in my opinion, I don't care how many stars he has on his rating, but me personally, I think a man with the enthusiasm and the want to for Miami, I would rather have him come in, maybe stumble a little bit, as opposed to somebody who wants, I want $1 million and a Ferrari to come play with you. But that's just my opinion. No disrespect to him. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're
No,
we're 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 in we're in some interesting times in college football, fellas.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Me, so like, I wouldn't want a player that just wants to come here just because of the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like just like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jakari, right? He wanted to come here because it was what? Guess what? He wanted to be a what? A Miami Hurricane, right? He wanted to play for the Miami Hurricanes and do what Jakari Harris did for us. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even better. So, that's why he came here and just, what I'm saying, that's why James Williams came here because,
Right.
he
And that's what started back in the day, dude.
mm-hmm.
You had these young men that wanted to play in Miami. They may not have had the stars. They may have had the stars, but they wanted to play for Miami. And that, I'm just saying. All right, Shad, what's the next topic, dude?
no, I wanted my dog QB in here, and QB put some on Twitter. May have been a week ago, or may have been 2 weeks ago, and I thought that was a very profound statement that he made. And QB said basically it's like, hey, either you get it together by your sophomore year, or we replacing you, whether it's with a high school player or a transfer portal player. And I said, yeah, that's that's what it is right now. If you can't see significant plan, like I say, looking at our current recruiting class right now. the past two classes. All right, the highlights of that class, well, this last freshman class, obviously the highlights: Mark Fletcher, Francis Mary Noah, Ruben Bain. Okay, so then you also got the freshman guys that didn't, the freshman backers that didn't play. Jaden Wayne played sparingly, but the unfortunate situation about that, going back to QB's statement, is if some of those guys are not ready to take that step next year, y'all going in the portal. You know,
Yeah, it makes
Anez
sense.
Cooper, Anez Cooper, he and Wes Basant were the two guys that played very well from that recruiting class. We just saw Cyrus Moss. You gone.
Yeah.
So that's I'm gonna say this because I always tell people I'm a football fan first, Hurricane fan, Raiders fan second. I always tell people that. And I love the portal because me personally, I don't like going to watch games like I say, like, okay, Miami versus Duke. Now I know most Miami fans say, hey, look, I don't want a situation where we're sitting up here um scared to play Duke.
Oh my gosh, I hope
Of
not.
course not. But at the same time, I want to see a competitive football game. The reason why I
Oh
want to see
yeah.
a competitive football game is because you got all this extra stuff going on in terms of strength of schedule, all this stuff like this. So
Hmm.
if I can watch a Miami versus Duke game that's going to be competitive, sign me up for it.
You
You
know,
know, so that's what I like
right.
about the pool is if because again, and I don't, in South Coast, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna let you speak. A lot of people said, "Hey, why do you want to go sit on the bench at Alabama? Why you want to go sit on the bench at Georgia, Ohio State? We can go somewhere else and start." Well, y'all have spoken that into existence. Why am I gonna go over there? Like I can go start at Louisville. Jakari Brooks. I can go play at who's another guy that went somewhere. Like I can go over to SMU. So so like Singletary from Georgia. He went to go play for doggone Arkansas this year. You know what I mean? So that's what I like about it. You know, what are your thoughts, South Coast? I don't know if these guys are dropping off because I purchased a StreamYard plan, so I
You
don't know if
too,
they
huh?
yeah yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they had to go. Maybe they had to go take a pee or
I
something. I
don't
don't know, dude.
I don't know if
Oh,
they. I'll put the link back in the chat again.
no,
But
it's all good for me. It's all good for me.
yeah yeah.
Oh,
And no, bro.
so but yeah, like with that portal. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it's all a personal thing. I mean, if you, I mean, of course, most of these young men they go to the Alabamas, the Georgias, the whatever because of it's Alabama, Georgia, Washington, Michigan. You know, they go for the name. But I mean, I guess it's all a personal decision. You know, if you, it's a double edged sword. You know, if you go to a school and you think that you're going to be okay, and you get there and you realize, holy crap, what have I gotten myself into at this school? You know, you got some real talented players ahead of you. But if you see that State College X over here, you know, maybe you could do better and further your football, whatever, then yeah, you could transfer. But the problem is with this portal, though, dude, as good as it is, it's just as bad because now you get these one guy described, I think it was Chris Canes for Life, described it as these divas. You know, I think you talked about this on one of your videos, Shad. You get these 5-star recruits who think that, you know, they've been coddled all through high school, treated as gods and so forth. And they have this mentality that I'm so and so, I'm a 5-star, I should be starting, you know. Oh, you're not going to let me start? Well, I'll just take my ball and go somewhere else. You see, that's to me, that's the bad side. In other words, you just transfer because you're not getting your way.
South Coast,
Uh,
what what do you, not to cut you off, what do you think about that comment Cuban said right there? What do you think about that?
Well, me and Cuban have history. Portal should only be if your head coaches leave the way they have it now. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. You know, I guess it's you got to take the good with the bad and with the ugly. You know, oh, and that's not a pun because Coach Hayes showed up, but you know, at the root of the portal, it's a good thing, but it's starting to become, it's just being skewed. I I don't really share Cuban's thought, but I won't disagree with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, like I said, I love it because what I was told, and like I said, I didn't play D1 ball, I played JUCO football. And what the coach told us when I first got there was that, hey, look, this scholarship is for 1 year, and
Right,
you
right,
got to
right,
work
right,
to get it again. So if I'm to go off of that mindset, then you only have 1 year. So
right.
I'm free to leave after my 1 year. That's again, I know some schools are saying, look, if we give you a scholarship, it's for all 4 years. But I'm saying in 2008, after I graduated high school and I went to the JUCO that I went to, that is what the head coach told me. In that freshman class we came in, he said, look, hey, look, um, this is a 1 year deal. You
Right.
either get it, you either make the most of it, or that's it. So if I'm to understand it from that particular mindset, then I don't have a problem with the guys leaving. Um, because again, it goes back to like you were saying, or I've heard Coach Hayes say this: go where you're needed. Go where you need it.
Right,
And the other
right,
thing
right.
is, if you good, they will find you. Like Luther Burden didn't win the Belifnikov this year, but most people would say, look, but Luther Burden is probably the best wide receiver in college football. Bias aside, Luther Burden plays in Missouri.
Hmm,
You know what I
hmm.
mean, Cam Ward, the highest coveted transfer portal quarterback. You at Washington State. You were a no star. You went to Incarnate Ward. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. But like I say, I'm gonna say this, South Coast, and I don't know if you agree with this. But one thing that I always say to Canes fans, anytime I got them in a situation like this, is that they say they want parity in a sport, but when you say you want parity, what you really want the Miami Hurricanes to be good.
You're right.
You don't want parity. I want parity.
You want parity that's going to make your world benefit you.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of football. You know what I'm saying? Like what Washington is doing. Yes, I said it. I want Michael Penix to get drafted by my Raiders, but I
Hmm.
like watching. I like watching Washington. I like that Florida State was good this year. Very good
Right,
game.
right,
I didn't
right.
I didn't enjoy watching them beat us the way they beat us, and even in 2020, 52-10. Yes, it was great. We beat them, but it's like, bro, this is not the rivalry that decided the national championship.
No,
That's
no.
what.
I mean, you know, I mean, me, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of opposite. You
Okay.
know, I'm all about the you, and I have
Okay.
been.
I can
But,
understand.
but, but I'm also a realist. Okay, I don't put the blinders on. I take everything with a grain of salt.
You would say this ain't the NFL. It's close enough. It's close enough.
But what I'm now many decades ago, I was one of those. It's all my, yeah. But as I got older and I guess wiser, I guess, and been through more experiences, I get to the point where, kind of like with this quarterback portal thing, I'm like, hey, whatever. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. There ain't a damn thing I can do to change it. If Cam Ward comes in, there's nothing I can do. If he doesn't come, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is just sit back and hope for the best. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. You know, and I guess in a way, I'm kind of the same way. I kind of like a good competitive game, but I just I'm not part of the knucklehead nucleus, I call them.
What
Yeah,
is that? That
that group that okay. My example that I used all season was in the preseason. You know, everybody has their little preseason predictions. Okay,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the majority of folks like yourself and other folks on the medias, we're calling for anywhere from 6-6 to 8-4. Well, you had this group, this cotillion, if you will, talking about, oh no, we're gonna suck. We're gonna have a losing record. We'll be lucky to. Okay, but then when Miami got 4-0 and went into the bye week, you know, the same group that was talking bad about going 6-6, 7-5, now they're saying, oh, we're going undefeated. We're going to the championship. We're going to go undefeated, you know? And
Yeah.
then, you know, we all know what happened after the bye week. Oh no, we suck again. You know, it's the it's the Johnny come lately fan. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
oh,
That's what that's what I call the knucklehead nucleus. The ones and y'all seen them in all the chats and all the shows and stuff. And
yeah.
they just whatever the flavor of the day is. Like right now, you probably got the knucklehead nucleus saying if we don't get Cam Ward, we ain't gonna be worth a damn, and Mario needs to be fired.
Yeah. Um, to be honest with you, South Coast, I haven't come across very many of those particular fans. Um, I've kind of come my the most the fans that I come across a lot is the ones that are we just gonna have blind faith in this because we're afraid that if it doesn't work out with him, it can't be fixed. Now those are the guys that I'm like, okay, bro, like you can't take back the buildings that were built.
Right,
All that, like you can't take any of that stuff back. You set the
right.
precedent, pay somebody $8 million. You can't come in and say, oh well, we're gonna give you 4.3. It doesn't work like that. You know. Now whether or not the support from a certain group of people still remains the same, you can talk, you can say that, but at this stage of the game, all these coaches have connections. So, but those are the guys that I come across a lot. But yeah. But lost in all of this is nobody cares about talking about the Pinstripe Bowl. I did a video about that. No one cares.
Well, I'm gonna buck the system. I'm, you know, I was talking earlier this evening. I'm actually anxious to see this game just for the simple fact with all these guys leaving via the draft declaration, the portal. We finally get to see Jakari. We get to see some. We get to see what our next center, our second string center, looks like on the line. Oh, we get to see some of this younger talent. It's almost like it's going to be like a spring scrimmage in winter. You know, oh, like I said, I'm just kind of curious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anxious to see it because, like, for the same reason that you said, it's like, okay, we've talked about these coaches, they're developing, so it's like, all right, we get to see Jaden Harris, we get to see Markeith, we get to see
Right,
the
right, right.
you know what I mean? So we get to see a full allotment of Jaden Wayne. You know what I mean? So, like you say, the backup center, we get to see McCoy. So, it
College jamboree.
I
Now,
mean,
now I'm not saying I'm not expecting Jakari to be the second coming of Steve Walsh or Ken Dorsey. I just would like to see how has this young man developed since the last time we saw him.
and you know what? You know what, South Coast, and this what I hate this I hate to say this. If he doesn't play well, no one is going to take into consideration he hasn't taken a snap this year. He hasn't even gotten in. He didn't even get in to hold the field goal snap.
Exactly.
So if he doesn't look good, see, we told you. He's gonna get unfairly criticized without taking advantage. Like Rutgers is bringing a good defense to New York. Contrary to what we may think, they're bringing a good defense to New York. Offense not that good, but they're gonna be able to do some things.
And again, I mean, again, like you just said, I agree with you.
Cute.
Jakari has not seen the field all season. I mean, it's like you gotta take it for what it is. You gotta look at the big picture. No, Jakari's not going to throw, and complete 80% of his passes. I hope he does, but he probably won't. He's going to be rusty. He's got to get back into the rhythm. He's got to get used to the speed of the game, but I just like to see what Mr. Brown looks like on the field as a whole. That's all.
Yeah. And the thing of it is like the image, going back to the picture of you got Mark Fletcher and you got Jacoby George there, they around Cam Ward. It's like, Jakari, how do you feel about that? It's like y'all are gonna be two of the bigger pieces of the offense next year. I mean, I understand from an optic standpoint, you have to be there, but also optically, what does that look like? No one has come out publicly and said, "Hey, we like Jakari," except for I saw someone saying it was it Damari Brown or one of the
Jaden
players?
Davis.
Yeah, Jaden Davis. Hey, Jakari. Hey, he's good. You know what I mean? And listen. That's the transfer. He just got here.
Well, and plus, Jakari has a better supporting cast than he had the last time he was on the field.
No one wants. Hey, listen. No one wants to talk about that, South Coast. It doesn't fit the narrative.
It's like there's a Jakari conspiracy going on. It's like I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not going fanboy, but I like Jakari. I really do. I want to see how the young man does in the bowl game. Take that compared to what he does in the spring game. I think he sticks. If he stays around, let's see what it looks like. Let's see how he progresses.
Well, see, South Coast, this is the conundrum that we have. If you get a transfer portal quarterback that's here for a year, you have to guarantee them the starting job.
Yep.
You're right.
You done rolled the red carpet out for Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Will Howard. Even though I didn't see, did any of y'all see any pictures of Will Howard's visit?
Mm-mm.
So like I said earlier, to Lakers and Anthony, I said I don't see Emory leaving. Period.
No.
Because again, the mindset was, look, I was supposed to be here with Jaden Rashada,
Mm-hmm.
and Jake Garcia was here.
Mm-hmm.
Was still here. So I committed under those, circumstances, as well as Jakari. I committed
Right.
under those circumstances. So it's not a big deal to me. But Jakari, you watched TVD blow it. You watched Jake Garcia leave. And now you're going to tell me that y'all have rolled the red carpet out for Cam Ward? Come on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll say this, guys, man. First of all, what's up with y'all, man? South Coast, good to see you, man. Been hanging out with us in the champagne room, man.
Hey, man, this is an honor. Thank you.
No, man, we decorated the champagne room, so we got it diced up for you guys. Make give you a taste test in the night shift.
Hey, long as you keep that soundtrack rolling, we in business, dude.
Hey, we roll. But first of all, man, I want to give you a quick slap right quick, just because you ain't tell us you had a channel, man. We here to support you, brother.
I know. I'm not one of those. I just, it is what it is. It's hey, look, I call it's all part of that $1.25 tree production, bro. I'm
man,
small time.
Man, we here to support you. I don't care if it's no time. We here to support you, dog. I mean, just straight up. If you know what I mean.
I didn't want to come off. I'm a very low key. I'm a very humble. I don't like to brag very much, But yeah, it's on the YouTube. South Coast Kane is my Miami channel, And then I know this is completely off topic. I don't mean to hijack the show, but I do have my Ferrari channel. It's under my name, Jordan Page, JORNPAGE. But yeah, South Coast Kane is where I'm at. So
I'm
Okay.
pulling it up right
and
now, man. So make sure
and I did get back into the Twitter X stuff too. I kind of stepped away from that for a while, but I'm back in that too at South Coast Kane.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I saw you the other day and I said, is South Coast on someone's panel or is that his actual page? But I was
That's me.
working. Oh,
It's all me.
okay. Okay.
Because and the reason why is, you know, no disrespect to the chats, but you know, I figured, if you don't like something, do it better. So I figured, hey, anybody can do a YouTube channel. So I figured, screw it. I get me a little, $50 camera from Amazon, get a $50 microphone, a light,
There
and
you go.
let's rock and roll,
That's it.
And I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to come in here and be as decorated as a Coach Hayes, Flows, et cetera, et cetera. Because God knows, I remember one time we had a little thing where we were trying to write, name all the Miami content creators on the YouTube. Oh my gosh, dude. I got to like 30. And to this day, I still find more channels. And what I do on my Discord is I try to I think I found this channel, Kane's Cast. I'll promote them on there. And then bottom of the map. But anyway, yeah, I just, us small timers.
Nah, man.
But
Matter
no,
of fact, Brother Jay
hey,
Blaze
look,
just introduced me to somebody new. I got your text, Blaze, so I appreciate it. I'll reach out to the brother, but no, man, it's not about that more than it is. If you got something to say, and I tell people this all the time. Some people like Pepsi, some people like Coke. You know what I
exactly.
mean? And that's what it's all about.
And to what Shad the Great, that's right, I said it, Shad the Great said earlier,
Brother Noomse.
with all this excellent content out here, after a while you hear the same thing,
Right.
same thing. And it just, like you said, maybe today I want a Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
Maybe I want to do the tequila instead of the bourbon.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's get back on topic, gentlemen.
Yeah, man. But I know it's funny you guys talk. Hey, I'm sitting in the back seat right now. You guys Shad driving, you riding shotgun. I'm in the back seat.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
No, I'll be on here a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna do a night shift at midnight. But yeah, man, we just have fun and
oh yeah.
Yeah, but to your point about Jakari, like I said, I do want to see him. And I want to see him for two reasons. One, I want to see him play, which we didn't get a chance. And to what Shaz said, he didn't step literally 1 foot on the field this week, and I think that just was unfair to him as an individual. And there's multiple opportunities. I'm talking about after when the last 4 games were available, so he wouldn't be penalized for his red shirt. But to your guys' point, I want to see him play. I want to see how he has evolved or stayed the same. But right now, we don't know. And Shad and you guys were bringing up earlier, he has been unfairly judged from a year ago. I mean, if you look at guys like Jordan Travis and Cam Ward, Bo Nix, you got to give a guy a chance. I mean, Jakari was in college for 1 year. If you took Bo Nix freshman year and you wrote him off, he wouldn't be in New York, right? If you just took him clearly off his freshman year. If you took Cam Ward, well, I can't say that. He was at Incarnate Word and he kind of lit it up. But I was just saying, if you look at different quarterbacks, they have to grow. They have to get into this thing. You got to give them opportunity. And like I said, I thought it was very mature of Jakari, whether it was him or a combination of he and his family, to come up and say, I want to be red shirt.
Right.
Not to just bring yourself out with the rule that you have of the 4 games. So, and I thought, okay, he wants to be red shirt, cool. Take the same with alcohol in
it. And Coach, you don't hear much of that. I say that all the time because I say, from my understanding, Jakari asked to be redshirted so he can get better.
Mhm. Right.
What are you
Correct.
talking about? What are you talking about? I'm just, you know,
Hey,
Yeah.
what are y'all thoughts on that comment right there? Because that goes, like I said, QB tweeted out something very similar to that. Hey, if you're not there in 2 years, he out of there. Can Jakari grow? Because technically, this is his second year, and
I just think, you know what I really think? Jakari, quarterbacks today, including Jakari, is caught in the transition in the evolution of the game. You're going to see in the future, quarterbacks are going to come, as you're seeing now, out of the G5, as it is the minor league or the farm system. And they're going to be treated as being developed those 2 years at the FIUs, the FAUs, the Southern, those schools. And these guys are coming up and getting them because they still got 5 to play, but they want to get them instead of the 1 year like a Cam Ward. They're going to do kind of like they did with Bo Nix, the 2-year deal, right? So you spend two
right.
in the minor leagues, and then we bring you up as a pitcher. Excellent. You learn how to throw, you learn the mechanics, you learn all the stuff, and then like I'm talking like I really know baseball, but I guess that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, farm
And,
system, baby.
yeah, and then you do the same thing. We're just Jakari right now. We are living through the transition of football. It's kind of just like we didn't live through the transition of the forward pass, right? In football. So all of those people who lived through that, they're like, that's stupid, right? And now it's the way of the game, in essence. So
right.
we're actually living through history of the evolution of the game to say, hey, this is how it works. And high school kids are getting screwed, or are they? I think they have to start understanding that it's okay to go to um, Louisiana Lafayette. It's okay to go to Georgia Southern and work your way through if you don't get picked, because you see guys now, they're getting 2 guys out the portal. They're getting a guy that they think is going to be a starter, and then they're going to get a guy that's a backup, unless you got a young kid that came through. Like the day of the Trevor Lawrence, unless he's just a phenom dude, you're not coming straight to the major leagues anymore. You're going to start hearing that major league football, minor league football. I could just hear it. Because I was watching the Pete Rose interview he did with Vlad, and he was talking about minor league, major league and stuff like that. And I was like, man, if this don't sound like college football, bro.
Exactly. Developmental league.
Yeah. G League and basketball is big now. You didn't really hear a lot about G Leagues. They had to go play overseas, right? And then come from overseas. Now you're starting to see that, because I think these bigger colleges are realizing it costs a lot of money to develop these guys and have them sit there for 2 or 3 years. And then in year 3 or 4, they don't pan out. Whether somebody else could fit the bill. Imagine if FIU could foot the bill for Miami for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, but that's where I'm thinking it's going, man.
And that was one of the concerns that I had, because I know some people were saying, well, hey, from a spring game perspective, let's go, scrimmage, FIU or FAU. And I said, well, that's unfair to those 2 teams, because say, for instance, FIU or FAU has a guy that's lighting our guys up. What's going to happen after at the conclusion of that? You come to Miami.
Not to cut you. That's exactly what IMG does to a lot of high schools, believe it or not. DeAndre Francois played the school I was at prior to me getting there. Right? Now they beat the brakes off of him, but that next year, guess what DeAndre Francois played at? IMG.
Yeah.
St. John's does it up there. A lot of the private schools, when they play those kind of schools, they're like, dog, that dude could play. He just don't have a good team around him. Let's take him. And that's what happens, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the reality of it, bro.
And I'll say this, and this may be kind of off the wall, but we got the emergence of the XFL and USFL. I think this was college football. NFL said, hey, look, y'all got to do something, or NFL, y'all need to do something. Somebody needs to do something, because we can't let college football get like college basketball. We can't allow for that to happen.
Right.
So it's like, well, look, we're not gonna allow for XFL and USFL to do this because I was looking at the requirements. All you gotta do is graduate from high school. You can go try out for the teams. You don't. I'm not saying you're gonna make it, but they were paying you $50,000, $60,000. So it's like,
I mean,
why
I can
not?
see it going as far as, let's say I'm gonna call them the Big Four now. I'm gonna give UCF some credit, but the Florida State, Miami, UCF,
Mm-hmm.
and I could see them partnering up with schools. I could see them saying, "Hey, like hey man, want you to come here, but push them towards FIU for Miami, in instance, right?" And say, "Hey man, go over here with this coach here. They got you back, blah blah blah." Now that doesn't mean you have to sign with them later, but I could definitely see these schools around LSU doing that to all of the schools in Louisiana. It's the only school there, major Power Five, I mean, that's there. So they can definitely tighten up with the Tulane, the Lafayette, the Monroes, and say, "Hey, we're gonna push you here, and here, and come on back, baby, when it's time."
Yeah. So basically, just create a minor league farm system.
That's it. That's really what's happening. That's really Ohio State, and I get you up here. You can go to this. You go to Ohio Bobcats and you play there.
Right.
Is that another? You right about that?
That's what it's looking like.
That farm gotta get cut off now because they on the same stage now. So
yeah,
yeah, can't let that come back and bite us now.
And I'm interested to see what UCF is going to do in the recruiting world, because they've gotten some guys, man. And now that they're in the Big Ten, you can't. I'm gonna just use this word because I don't know another one right now, but you can't negatively recruit UCF with saying that they're in the lower conference.
Right.
They're in the Big 12, so you can't say, "Oh, well, why would you want to go to UCF when we play on a bigger stage?" Well, they're in the Big 12, so I mean, it's a big conference as well. So now, and that's funny. UCF here in the state is not getting. I don't think they're getting the respect. I think people are overlooking that. And Gus Malzahn is grabbing some dudes, man. He grabbing some dudes, and UCF could be a problem. They're going to be a problem in the state. I'm saying.
Yeah, and the thing about the current state of the ACC, and I don't know if if y'all don't have to agree with me, but I said SMU walking into the ACC probably as the richest team school walking into there. That's gonna be an issue too as well. You know what I mean? Texas has a lot of talent in a lot of different places. Same as Florida. So with the transfer portal, I know, again, like I say, Miami Hurricane fan, but I'm a football fan first. We're envisioning that, hey, this is the rise of the Hurricanes and this is this, but you got to watch out for SMU because we thought A&M spent some money. You got a documentary showing us how far they'll go with it.
And that's what you know. It's what you don't. It's what you don't know.
What's on the cutting room floor in the editing room that we ain't see, and then what didn't even make the tape. Like, you're 100% right. But I'll just say this last piece about SMU. I mean, I'm sorry, UCF is right here in Orlando. This is Gator country, right? Like, this is all.
I'm sorry.
I know. Bro, I actually took a picture the other day. I was in a Marshalls. They have a whole display case. Check this foolishness out. Of course, they would have UCF. Like, they had like these gifts with like flask and decanters and all the. Bro, they had UCF, Florida, and Florida State. Nothing Miami, bro. And I'm not saying that out of hate. I'm saying that Miami has to do better distributing products because I don't think everybody hates them, but up in this, I mean, we're not that far away. Bro, they had Georgia and Tennessee stuff in there. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, but anyway, I said all that to say, even if some of those bounce back kids, right? So a Florida bounce back kid, a Florida State bounce back kid who's from the Central Florida, the Lakeland, Polk County, Orlando, Seminole, Perfect example, John Walker, who decided to go. Maybe I broke his thing down, but he decided to go to UCF, and then the other kid went to Oklahoma. I forget his name, y'all. But anyway, he went from Oklahoma. He bounced back to UCF because he's from right here, right outside of Orlando in Kissimmee. And so it's a lot of talent in this area, man. A whole bunch of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Because I think the state of Texas is gonna have the same problem that we're gonna currently have, where it's like you Texas and OU did everything in their power to keep SMU down. They can't do it anymore. And we've done everything, our power to keep UCF down. They haven't. So, like I said, I'm all for it because, like I say, I love watching a good college football game. I want to watch a good game like that. You know what I mean? So,
Well, I mean, things are starting to balance out.
parity.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess that's probably one of the good things of the portal and so forth. I mean, it just brings balance to the force, so to speak.
Yeah.
Derek LeBlanc. That's his name, Derek LeBlanc, the bounce back kid.
Yeah, because one of my first videos that I ever did on this channel was I said that the transfer portal was going to separate the coaches from the recruiters.
Exactly.
And that was one of the first channels that I did. I mean, one of the first videos I did. It's going to separate the coaches from the recruiters. You're not going to be able to just recruit yourself out of this because Georgia, what was it? Someone said Georgia got like 16 guys that are leaving. We're not talking about 3-star and 2-star. We're talking about these are 5- and 4-star guys that are quality that are leaving. Don't know where they're going, but they're leaving. You know what I mean? So,
and it's also a rush deal too, right, Shad? Like these people, these kids, and these parents, it trickles back. I'm gonna tell you where it trickles that backwards from to high school. As we came along, you was 9th grade. You wouldn't even thinking. It wouldn't even cross your mind to talk about you gonna play varsity, right? So these kids' parents and stuff are strictly going from from Pop Warner, varsity,
the NFL,
and it's the same concept, right? Because if the daddy they shop in high schools, oh, he not playing varsity, okay, he ain't coming to you. He ain't playing. He should be playing varsity. Right? He ain't coming to you. So one of these coaches willing to say, okay, yeah, he can play varsity for me. And then there you go. So now when they go from high school, they go from being the man in high school, play 4 years of high school, then they go to college. Oh, I'm not playing my freshman year. I'm not playing my freshman year. I'm not playing. And then now you sit there a year, 2 years, and you go from being the man to being a man on the roster because relatively speaking, they bringing in a bunch of men respectively from their own state, city, area, country, county, or whatever. And they can't handle that. You don't even hear kids saying for the next 4 to 5 years, for the next 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4, yeah.
I will be playing my college football at such and such. And it's like so now everybody's in a race because they feel like they're running out of time. Because if I sat for 1 year, I sat for 2, I only got 1 more year. And so everybody's it's a race to try to leave early. It's like if you stayed all 5 years in your program, then you were a college bust. That's how it seemed like they're taking it. You're a college bust. I don't know, man. It's just it's
crazy times we live in.
Transition, right?
Change. Exactly.
Change.
And it's funny, Coach, because you can put that for any other youth sports, especially like with the baseball. You got these kids in T-ball, and these parents think, oh, well, they're going to the major leagues. Same thing with the pee-wee basketball. I don't know what they call the little kids leagues, but the basketball. It's all, kids 8 years old. Oh, he's going to the pros. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Oh, that's all they talk about, man. And you talk about change. I'm thinking of basketball too. When they put in the 3-point line, right? The 3-point line. I know people are like, why would I shoot the ball way out there when I can make a layup and play in it? Now you don't even see post players. Ain't no more Shaquille O'Neal type dudes. Like You used to have specialists like Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullen were 3-point specialists. They used to come off the bench for the 3-point play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now it's 3-point heaven.
That's
I
it.
always asked it. I believe he could, but how would somebody use Shaq if he came today?
Power
Like,
forward. I
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, would they try to feed? Would they try to feed him?
I
Like,
don't.
you know what I mean? Like, would you
I
feed
don't
him?
know. I don't know how you use. Well, you know what? I'll say this to play devil's advocate. It depends on which Shaq you're talking about. Are you
I'm
talking
talking about if
about?
he came in out of LSU today. If he came in from
Oh
LSU,
well.
today.
the young Shaq.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
talking
you
about coming in now
talking
today.
you talking about the Orlando Magic Shaq? Then
Yeah.
he was perfectly in this style of ball. Now, if you talking about the Lakers Shaq, I don't see anywhere he could play other than being a guy that goes in, gets his 6 fouls, and goes back to the bench. But Orlando Magic Shaq, oh man, he'd be.
Oh, young Shaq was
He'd be untouchable.
Hmm.
But again, it goes back to that. Coach Hazen, you made mention of this. You were talking to somebody. He said, "Look, and I'm paraphrasing. It's hard to have a pocket passer when you got edge rushers running 4-4.
They coming. They coming, bro. I don't think people
Jadeveon
realize how
Clowney,
fast these dudes moving, bro.
And it's a lot of them.
Yeah, like Jadeveon Clowney at the time when he entered college football, it was like a freak of nature. But it's like we've seen 6 or 7 Jadeveon Clowneys since then. We've seen Myles Garrett. We've watched, some other guys like that. So that's becoming a normality.
Bro, like, here's a perfect example. Lawrence Taylor, I don't want to say he's the anomaly, but he was the elite, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of the speed coming off the edge, those guys. And now you go look at your Dwight Freeney's, your Elvis Dumervilles, your all of these different kind of cats. Like, that's their deal. These guys are being recruited strictly as what's going on, y'all? It's strictly, pass rushers. You remember Big Gilbert Brown for Green Bay? You bring him in on first down, depending on the yard. He definitely was out on third and long. No, the third down running back. There's no more Travis Miners out there in the world. They're every down backs now.
What it was, Troy Kennedy, he played for the Commanders back in the day. I remember he was with Clint.
Yeah, but I mean, those third down backs, the guy that could catch the screen, and he was man, them days are like, it's telling you, the football is the linebacker. I look at cats like Zach Thomas, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know, and this is not the knock him, but we're just talking about the kind of skill. Would he make it in today's football, or would he have to be an edge guy? He would have to be a 3-4 off the edge type dude to go.
Right.
I don't know if he could run with these cats now, because you look at linebackers, they're not 255, 260 anymore like they used to be.
I mean, we watched towards the end of Ray Lewis' career that things changed. Like, Ray didn't look like Patrick Willis anymore.
and Patrick Willis was a guy who was, in essence, he was the one of the first ones, in my opinion, was the change or the evolution of the Mike linebacker, right? The guy that's running with the number 3, because you start implementing quarters coverage, who got number 3. It's a lot that goes into it, but people now, especially in college, they're looking for middle linebackers. They're looking for oversized safeties. Like Lewis Oliver would have been a Mike linebacker in my book.
Yeah.
In today's football, I'm saying today's football.
Right.
So, Brian, now to change the subject, what do you guys think about Don Chaney going to Louisville? Is that a good spot for him?
Louisville wrapping up a couple of them. Who else did they? They just got some receiver. Who did they get? I heard it was Kobe Young. It was somebody else.
They got Jakari Brooks from
Jakari Brooks. There you go, Jakari Brooks.
Well, I wish him all the best. I mean, I hate to see Don leave after everything he'd been through at Miami with injuries and so forth. And then we got the elbow gate.
Elbow gate. That's funny.
It's like it's like the 21st century of Cleveland Gary, if those who know. Yeah, I mean, if the young man's happy and he gets a good education to help him out in life, hey, God bless you, brother, and good luck.
Yeah, they forced him out, and I get it, right? You got a bunch of room, got a bunch of kids. It's kind of like, dog, it's not that we don't want you. It's just we don't have room for you. Now you can stay here, but you're
Right.
not going to play. You're not going to play.
Right.
It's just unfortunate, but you're not going
It
to play.
is. But
Yeah.
at least, I mean, maybe hopefully he'll find some success, some future life success.
Oh, I think
You
Don.
know,
Yeah, I think Don
oh
will be all right. Hopefully, you know, everything will be well. But yeah, man.
But yeah, that goes back to what I said about Louisville. Getting like a player of his caliber, even what he has left in the tank. I mean
mhm.
that looks good for them. That's a good look for them. You know.
It's
Like I
kind of
said,
like when Santana Moss was on the back end of his career. I remember talking to his cousin, really good friends, and he was saying, man, Tanner, man, he good being the play about 10, 12 plays a game, older dude in the room, gives advice, this, that, and the other, and he good. You know what I mean? And I think Don Chaney wants that last little oomph just so he can get an opportunity and make it happen. Damn, why I got to be in the bathroom at Tootsie's, dog? God.
yeah, I
Well,
said,
if Sterling knows that, he must be in there with you.
He in the
That's
next
it.
stall. He in the next
They've been
stall. I can
on
tell
here
by his shoes. I can tell by his shoes. That's him.
2:15, so I'm gonna try to get here about 2:30, so about 15 more minutes. Um, I mean, I like I said, kind of getting back to the topic at hand about just the quarterback situation. Whoever we get, obviously with the saying is that we were a quarterback away. It's some immense pressure to make, and I'm not even gonna say the 12 team. I'm talking about being a sixth or better to me, because I think just being in the 12, that means you just got there. But to actually, in my opinion, to have an actual chance to compete, six seed if we get one of these guys. If we go in with Jakari next year, or one of the guys that's not mentioned, if we make the 12 team, I'm fine. But you get Cam Ward, Will Howard, or one of these guys, to me, the floor is the playoff. You know, and I ain't trying to just jump through the ring of fire, but it's like, yeah, bro, you jeopardize our quarterback room for the future. It gotta pay off. You know.
I got to listen, and I'm gonna. Hey, Cristobal feels the heat now. Let's not get
Oh
it
yeah.
twisted.
No.
Let's not get. Listen, you walk in your first year 5-7. You come in 2 games better when you should have been 4 games better, and now you in week 3. Hey, I say like this: the seat ain't hot, but somebody done turned the stove on and they ain't grabbed the pot yet. I just put it like that.
Yeah. I'm sure that topic's going to come up pretty soon about, how many wins does Mario have to get next year before the seat gets hot? I could see it right now.
But you can't walk. I can tell you now, you can't walk out of here less than 9 wins without it getting hot. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. Yeah.
You can't walk out of here with 10 if you walk in with a Cam or Will Howard.
Right. Because I mean they should have had at least 10 wins this year.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you get Cam Howard or Cam Ward or Will Howard, 10 it's 10 or bust now.
Right.
Pressure's on. If you come in with Jakari next year, then they may give you some grace with 8 or 9. But if you come in with them 2 guys, and we already had 7, and you talking about 8 wins or 9 wins? Nah, bro. Nah. And I hate to say this, I probably will be on that train as well, because you definitely can't blame Manny Diaz anymore. You definitely can't blame. I mean, what else can you blame? Like at this point, your culture should be set in now year 3. Your culture, your expectations, your philosophy should be embedded. You can't blame Josh Gaddis anymore. So
Nope.
what? So yeah, and being a head coach, that's what it comes down to.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, I mean that's to me, I see Rocky just jumped on. We kind of talked about that already. Rocky, me and South Coast, we kind of in the same mindset. It doesn't. I'm sure Coach Hayes is the same way.
What do you say? I missed it.
What does everyone here want at quarterback next year? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you get, you know. Um,
It does.
because
Well, either one of them, yeah. I'll go with this to answer it quick. I like Cam better just because I do like the mobility. Now,
okay,
I know his numbers weren't there. I think, of course, Will Howard is mobile. I went and looked at his film. He's mobile as well, but I think Cam is more shifty. I think Cam has a little more avoidance to him, right? He can avoid guys a little bit more, in my opinion. I think Cam, I mean, Will, I'm gonna go by their first name. Will is a little bit more because I'm all jacked up. Will is a
Mhm.
little is straightforward, big dude, gonna get around the corner. I I don't know. I don't. It's something about the intangible Cam has when I watch the film, and I'm like, I think it's an intangible in there. When I'm talking about from the extension of the plays, I mean, not the throwing ability. I think they're very not. They're not the same. They're similar. They're different, but they're the same. If that makes sense,
I
I don't
think
know.
it's
I
I think
don't know.
it's the it's the chip. You got a chip on your shoulder. You go from, I mean, life is coming Cam Ward fast. You go from not being highly sought at after. I mean, I'm just going by 247. You had no stars. You go to Incarnate Ward, tear it up. You go to Washington State. You have, for a Washington State quarterback, 25 some odd touchdowns, and now you are mindset is you are going to lead someone to the national championship. You know, so I think he has that chip on his shoulder because, like I said, I don't know how good he was in high school, but I'm sure he probably feels like, hey, I'm just as good as some of the guys that were ranked ahead of me.
Right.
Rocky asks, what if Howard and Ward don't come? Then what role with what you got? I get it. I get Coach Chris by this much credit. Um, those are the two guys that are being mentioned, but someone is talking to three or to the third, fourth, and fifth option, and then you may get back to Jakari and Emery. But like you said, Coach Hayes, he knows the heat is on, especially when you're guy that um the guy that got the job after you at Oregon. He's knocking on the door of the playoffs, and you just matched what your predecessor matched had in his last year. So yeah, so um, I don't that I don't have any doubt in my mind that they're gonna get a quarterback, whether it's Ward, whether it's Howard, either way, that they're gonna get somebody because it's you can't allow for this year to be you can't piss away this year. I mean next year you just can't.
And it's funny you say that. You guys brought this up, and I'll say this because I got to roll here in a second. But with all of that, with all of this notoriety of looking for a quarterback, what does that say? And I know you guys talked about this already, but what does that say to Jakari Brown? I'm not your guy.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I think I may be wrong as the day is long, and we only got an hour and a half left in this day.
Hmm.
But for the East Coasters, that is. But I will say this. I will say this. I think he plays the bowl game and dips. I think that's going to be his audition tape, as people say, to everybody else to say, look, I've evolved. I show what I got, and I'm out. Because right now, who takes it? Let me ask you this: do you take a chance on a guy you haven't seen in a year, and from his previous year? Not saying it was bad, but it wasn't also great. So the schools are few to not as many. But if you go out here and light this thing up, and you go out there 300-400 yards, 4 touchdowns, say 3 throwing, 1 running, you look crisp. You just upped your portal stock, I guess.
Well, that's one of the things I've been in denial about because that has been in the back of my mind. But I just don't know if, and maybe somewhere at a smaller, maybe not a bigger school, but maybe a smaller school. But anyway, if Jakari does come out and has a fantastic game in the bowl game, you know, maybe somebody takes that as face value. I don't know. Uh, I really don't know. Because again, this is the first time seeing him. It is against Rutgers. I guess you just have to look at the whole body of work. And I can't speak for other coaches or anything, but that's one of the things I'm kind of not really worried or concerned, but it is in the back of my mind that I really hope that's not the situation. I really hope he's just trying to better himself. I don't know.
And it may
I,
be a school that's looking for a quarterback competition, right?
right,
and I
right,
think
right,
and
right.
I think Jakari may be saying, I'll go to a school that's saying it's between me and another guy, and I'm willing to compete. I know if you bring in those two guys, it's no competition. I'm competing for the backup with Emory Williams.
Yeah.
Versus
But
I'm competing for the starting role, and whoever
right,
wins becomes the backup.
right. But I
Versus
mean,
whoever wins the second backup becomes the third stringer.
right. But there's so many unknowns right now, Coach. I mean, because
Yeah.
we don't know if any of the portal people will commit. That's just it. It's just a lot of, and it's kind of like the multiverse, dude. You got so many scenarios and so many variables and so many options that the possibilities are endless, dude. But as time goes by, things will shift out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think Coach Hayes, I think you may have made mention to this on your show. If I'm going out and we're getting a guy, we're giving him $1.72 million. There's no competition. There's none. And
Yes.
the unfortunate thing about that is the risk reward. And I remember Streeter said this on Canesville. It's like, look, in reference to Jakari, y'all made this bed, you got to lie in it. And he was making reference to, playing Emory and, the unfortunate situation. So it's like, if y'all, kind of, I'm not trying to forecast any bad, but it's like, if y'all mess over this young man and y'all go out here and y'all pay somebody $1 million or $2 million and that blows up in your face, you know. So I mean, it's just it's so much right now, it's a lot. But to say to comment on what Faith, Family, and Football said, I 1,000% agree with that, Faith. I'm just speaking about what the general consensus is saying. Yes, every team is different. We are replacing O linemen, the safety, and D linemen. Um, Coach Hazen, you may mention this 100 times on your prime debate. Just because you're bringing these portal guys in, they have to jail. They
Mm-hmm.
have to jail together. They have to know how to play. You may have played one way, like we just got C.J. Clark from NC State. Okay, he played a certain way at NC State. He has to learn how to play a different way at Miami.
Right.
AJ Cloyd did not really turn it on towards the end of the year. So these guys, so I agree 1,000% with what Faith and Football said. Yes, just because we're getting these guys, that don't mean they're gonna jail. And obviously, again, we got Tyler Harrell. Tyler Harrell didn't play much. Shamar Kirk didn't play at all. So just because these guys are coming in doesn't mean they're even going to play. So I agree. Yeah, we don't know what we are away from until we play Florida next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. Like I said, we right at about 2 more minutes to go. So what did Anthony say? Honestly, I'm thinking fans are overreacting. I don't think he's asking for 2 million, maybe. I mean, Anthony, I don't know. Matt Rule made the comment, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know, but they're getting high six figures, and that's still a lot to tie up in a collegiate player, especially one that has 1 year left. But like I said, I'm gonna get out here at 2:30. So if there's any closing comments that y'all guys want to make, Nassau said I'm a gray cloud. I
I
wouldn't have
don't know.
said
Your hair looks it's a lot darker than mine is. But anyway,
Nassau.
I,
I only said that because of what Street said.
oh,
You know, Streeter said that comment about, you gotta make that bed and lay in it. But with that being said, what are you guys' closing comments, and we'll get out of here.
Go ahead, Coach.
I don't have no closing comments except we're gonna do a night shift here around 12:15 or somewhere, and I'm about to go grab something to eat. We're gonna make it rock and roll, man. We're gonna do what it do, baby. But hey, man, we're gonna have a good time, man. And other than that, shout out to you guys, man. Go over there and subscribe to South Coast Kane, man.
Oh, man, thank you, Coach. You're too kind, too kind. It was good talking to you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, go.
Now, the only thing I'll close with is, regardless of what happens, vis-a-vis the portal, whatever, it's going to make for some very, very interesting off-season talk, especially when we start getting around summer. Whichever way it goes, whether you get them or you don't, it's going to be crazy. So y'all better buckle up and get ready.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, there's going to be a second window. So you could learn very quickly that some guys that you picked up that may be here for spring, they may not be cutting it. They may be getting right back in the portal, like what it was, the guy that we got from Syracuse. He came for a cup of coffee, and hey, you're not what we thought you were. But
Damn.
but Sterling be getting me with that stuff. But anyway, that being said, man, I appreciate you guys, hopping on or whatever. Like I said, I got the StreamYard up on my phone, so I guess when I'm on the road or something, we can kind of do this a little bit more often or whatever like that. And like I say, shout out to E Brown, because E Brown the first one that made mention and say, hey, look, I don't let anyone say anything. I just want to bloviate for an hour and a half. So E Brown, so if you hear somewhere someone can get in touch with E Brown, let E Brown know that next time
I'll let him know.
We need
I'll let
you
him know to get in contact with you, man. Y'all get in contact.
When in doubt, vacillate.
Yeah, when in doubt, vacillate. But with that being said, man, I appreciate this. I appreciate all y'all in the comments, everything like that. And Coach Hayes on the road to 40,000. Me and South Coast, we on our way to we on the road to 1,000. So tell a friend to tell a friend. As always, man, like, share, subscribe, and always, as always, it's all about the you. And Brother Jay, I'm at the house. I don't have. I know when y'all see beds in the background, y'all think it's supposed to be a basketball goal on it, but it's not. I'm not.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Shad. I about to say, how you get a ceiling fan in the truck, dog? I about to say you a bad boy.
No, I'm at the crib. But anyway, man, appreciate that, man, and we'll do this again next time. Peace.
Thank you, Shad. Take care. Take care, Coach.
You too, man.